console each other.
Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show.
You know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. It's time how we do. Hey.
They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said. They said we said. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you heard right. We say that you
Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you in red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you red fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blizzard. Got you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today.
Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we said we hit. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said
go. Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. The 18th episode of Lokes Gaming Log. Welcome in, Vincent Vega. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for coming through nice and early. I've almost finished with the Fallout TV show. I finished episode 7, and what a banger! What a banger! I've tried to watch the videos of people bitching, talking about, oh, the story is not great. There's lore inconsistencies, like the people that hate on it, right? Because usually what happens with these adaptations is they'll come out, people will shit on them, and then I will most of the time agree with the people crapping on these TV shows, these movies, adaptations of video games. But with this Fallout series, I'm just not feeling the hate. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Like, I watched one today with the Critical Drink and a couple of other people, and they were pointing out the inconsistencies, and I was just like, this is like proof. This is proof that the reason why like Star Wars and all these other adaptations are going to crap, it's really not because the people writing this stuff are, how can I put this? It's not because they're crapping on the source material. And this one's a hard one for me to cope with, but I have to be honest here. The issue is that the stuff being put out by these people is just bad. It's bad, whether it's the camera angles, whether it's the character development, etc., etc. Because the dude that was pointing out the inconsistencies on the Critical Drinkers pod was actually right. He was right about all the points when he was specifically talking about the lore inconsistencies, locations, etc., timelines. He was right. But I still can't bring myself to hate the show because it's a freaking good show. Thanks, Vince. It was a solid fan service. Gave it a 7 out of 10. Exactly. They did what they set out to do. The TV show is supposed to entertain. And every single time I watch it, I watch, like every single episode that I've watched, I'm in the palm of their hands. Whoever wrote it, whoever directed it, whatever. I am eating it all up, even with all these inconsistencies pointed out by the people that are hating on it. So I'm sorry, man. Tough. All right. If you don't like the Fallout, tough tits. That's all I can say to you, because I loved it, and I'm sure a lot of other people also love it. So tough. My bad. Anyways, let's get into it. There's some stuff I'd like to talk about today. Hopefully I can get through all of it. If not, let's go. Let me pull this up. let's talk about Pokemon first. So this is from VGC. Former Pokemon lawyer says fundraising and press coverage lead to fan project takedowns. It's a very interesting thing, the concept, right, to bring up. But let's look at it. In an interview with Aftermath, former Pokemon General Counsel Don McGowan was asked how the Pokemon company finds fan projects before issuing them with cease and desist orders. McGowan replied that the press often did the work for him because when a fan, okay, so this is, all right. Let's finish and then I'll give my thoughts. Because when a fan project becomes popular, its coverage will likely gain it more attention. Short answer, this is a quote from McGowan. Short answer, thanks to you folks. I would be sitting in my office minding my own business when someone from the company would send me a link to a news article I would stumble across it. I teach entertainment law at University of Washington and say this to my students. The worst thing on earth is when your fan project gets press because now I know about it. McGowan did also stress, however, that simply being covered in the press isn't necessarily enough to get a fan project taken down. It's when the developers start trying to make money from the project that the Pokemon company is likely to take action. Okay. But that's press coverage, not the end of the equation, he explained. You don't send a takedown right away. You wait to see if they get funded for a Kickstarter or similar. If they get funded, that's when you engage. No one likes suing fans. Okay. So this goes back to when this goes back to Yuzu. This is why they got taken down, because there's a whole bunch of emulators, including Yuzu, that Nintendo was not doing anything about. But as soon as they started monetizing, even through donations, because they weren't charging, but as soon as they started monetizing, that's when the Nintendo legal machine got up and went for their necks. So it's consistent. It's consistent. Vic, the motherfucking clip, welcome in. What's up? What's up? Raichi, Pokemon, I changed my name to Rayquaza for this stream. I will try to call you Rayquaza for the rest of the stream, I promise. Yeah, basically all people bragging about Yuzu on Steam Deck put Nintendo ninjas in motion. No, people been bragging about Yuzu for years. That wasn't the problem. The problem was as soon as Yuzu put in like an option for you to donate, as soon as you start making bank off of Nintendo stuff, that's when you have a problem. That's why they only went after Yuzu, not the other ones. As far as I know, there's no way to monetize the other emulators. They're all free, as far as I know. So this is actually very consistent. So yeah, I find this interesting because a lot of us like to shit, include myself included, like to shit on Nintendo in general because the outlook is usually that they're a shitty company that don't want to port old games. They want to recharge you for old games and all this other stuff. And if you try to like conserve their games and like push them forward without paying for it through whichever remasters they put on their new consoles, they come for your neck and all this other stuff. But now we have someone that was on the inside, who's been on the inside for a long time, talking about like the mindset behind all of it. So that's all. That's pretty interesting. So anyone interested in profiting from Nintendo IP, this is how you get in trouble. If you just try to, I don't know, have fun with their stuff, they don't have a problem. As soon as you start monetizing, that's when they come for your neck. What's this? Oh, okay. I'm just gonna see all the popular stuff because I already have the topics for today. But let's see if anything's interesting here. 2K wins lawsuit brought by LeBron James tattoo artist. I don't care. I really don't care. Fallout 4 was Europe's best-selling game last week. Following, yeah, we know that. Sony confirms Little Big Planet shut down. RIP Little Big Planet. Stellar Blade will be uncensored in all regions. I have to open that one. I mean, contractually obligated at this point. StarCraft lead teases new RTS in a documentary with, I don't know, man. Like StarCraft, I know a lot of people fans, but it's not for me. Not a big fan. But if you like StarCraft, hey man, go for it. Nintendo wants us to pay premium to play the worst version. I'm laughing, Rayquaza, because technically, the way you say it, it's like just only Nintendo wants this. Like PlayStation does this as well. Xbox kind of used to do it before they started putting their exclusives day and date. So yeah, it's not really an exception. I'm not trying to defend it, just saying it's not just Nintendo. But let's look at the Stellar Blade stuff, because I'm all about them Stellar yams. Stellar Blade will be uncensored in all regions. My brothers and sisters, this is proof that there is a God. It's out next week? What? April 26th. Hold on. Let me check my calendar. That's Friday. Fuck, should I go to work on Friday? Or maybe I should take the Monday off. Yeah, fuck it. I'm taking the Monday off. Fuck it. I need the Vatican region version of Stellar. The Vatican you know what? I think you meant to say the Vatican version. I don't know. But if we're talking about the Vatican, probably not going to be a female. Probably going to be a very young boy. But let's not get into that. Friday yams. All right. A post from the game's X account reads, Stellar Blade offers the same uncensored version in all countries, including the Japanese version. This post comes in the wake of some PlayStation titles having regional variations, which players have routinely called out for perceived censorship. Stellar Blade will be released on April 26th as a PlayStation 5 exclusive. A demo. Fuck, that means I have to finish Final Fantasy Remake. I have to do it this week. I have to do it before Saturday. Oh my goodness. Has anyone in the chat played Final Fantasy Remake? Because I'm at the part where I climb like the destroyed version, the destroyed sector 7, and I've just like stood in front of Shinra. So I don't know how far I am. It says chapter 16, but I don't like to like Google stuff and then get like spoilers or whatever. So just tell me if I'm close to the end, if you've played Final Fantasy Remake. I misspelled Vatican Virgin. Okay, let's reread this in the correct context. I need the Vatican Virgin version of stuff. That's dark. That is dark. Cozy, welcome in, Cozy. Appreciate you for coming through, calling me a weeb. That's just you saying you appreciate me, and I appreciate you too, Cozy. Welcome in. Rayquaza, I did, but I'm just at the sewers. Oh, you're at the sewers. All right, so still a bit off. Also, before facing Shinra, I think that you have to go to the sewers twice. So I don't know if you're in the sewers for the first time or the second time. I'm curious about that one. Anyways, going back to the article, a demo for Stellar Blade was released March 29th, after which the game's official X account advised players to go easy on it, with some players racking up over 50 hours of play on the 50 out guys. I enjoyed that demo, but 50 hours? Come on. Or actually, I should say come less, 50 hours. Lord. Yoko Taro, the director of Nier series, recently said he thinks Stellar Blade is much better than his own game, Nier Automata. In an interview with IGN.com, Taro and Stellar Blade director Kim Hyung Tae both sat down to discuss their respective games. Taro praised Kim, saying he's been a fan of his work ever since his work on the Magna Carta series of games, and says that even though he's the older of the two, he still considers Kim his senior on a professional level. On Kim's latest title, Taro said, Stellar Blade is such an amazing game. I think it's much better than Nier Automata. We shall see. We shall see, because Nier Automata it's not just 2B. Well, for the people that don't really play games for the sake of the game itself, it's just 2B. But for the rest of us, there's so much more to Nier Automata, especially in those endings, especially the real ending. So we shall see if Stellar Blade is more than just what it looks like, because I think it's unfair to compare Nier Automata to Stellar Blade on just combat alone, because Nier Automata is a masterpiece, not because of just its combat or just its protagonist. It's a plethora of things put together, and that's what makes it a masterpiece. Stellar Blade, I think it's unfair to compare it to Nier Automata. I think that's why the director is even saying what he's saying, because he knows most of us will be like, all right, pause, just keep it together for a minute. Let's play the game and then see if this is as good as Nier Automata. Nier is pretty awesome. Vince says they're hungry. Yep, hungry is the word. At least Sony doesn't count game time when system is in sleep. On Xbox, I suddenly had 90 hours extra against the game because the game wasn't closed. For real? That's messed up, I think. So yeah, if you're not a fan of censorship that Sony's been doing recently, like I can't name the games off the top of my head, but I know people have bitched a couple of times about games that were perfectly, how can I put this, uncensored in certain regions, and then in the places where you have your prudes, your Puritans, like the US, for example, suddenly you couldn't see certain areas of certain characters. Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny, like how years ago people used to make fun of the Christian Puritans and talk about they're not going to win, they're never going to win. Now it looks like they've won, which is so strange. But here we are. Anyways, Stellar Blade, still a day one. I didn't get the deluxe version like a lot of people. A lot of people apparently canceled the regular version after getting the demo, and they went for the deluxe. So yeah, I was playing Lost Odyssey, and when I had the system off a few days, my save game would be increased by the time the game was still running. Wild. Jacob Novik, wow, it's been a minute, man. Welcome in. Hi, long time no see. I'm fantastic. I'm great. I had a nice church service, and then I had plans to come back home and continue writing a review for this game that I've been playing that I can't talk about right now. But instead of that, my brother called, and today is my sister-in-law's birthday, so I had to drive to the other side of the city to celebrate, and then I had to rush all the way back home to get ready for the show. So, but still, very good game. Very good day. I'm having a very good day. What about you, Jacob? What you been up to all this time? Like Agent Smith said, we missed you. Next, we have a not so pleasant subject, but it's something that we need to tackle all the same. How is 420 and 10? Okay. You got jokes. Devs are getting ground up as collateral damage. Fallout New Vegas lead says burnout has replaced crunch as the primary hazard of the game industry. This is Crunch, imposing, also known as imposing long periods of major overtime to meet a deadline, has been a major specter in games industry since its inception, though particularly in the past few years with developers at several studios, including Rockstar, CD Projekt Red, Telltale, and more, reporting absurd expectations from their higher-ups. That's not to say short periods of crunch are inherently a sign that something's gone wrong. Racing to beat a deadline is common in a lot of creative industries, and sometimes it's self-imposed out of passion for the project. It is, however, a thing to be avoided, and several of those aforementioned studios have sworn off relying on crunch to solve their problem. When has a company, we won't even get to the corporation side, when has a company ever sworn to safeguard its employees or its customers and actually done that? Why are we talking about this as if it's something that actually like matters? Why are we pretending like this is something real? Like it's not something that was just typed out, sent out as a memo, and then people completely forgot about it the next day and went right back to the toxic environment. I don't understand this. I don't get it. Shifts up Stellar Blade next game is reported to be on Xbox. So one, there's been a misunderstanding, or two, the Shift Up CEO doesn't know what second party contract is. Shift Up signed such a contract with what? Stellar Blade on Xbox. Hold the phone. Send me this link, Jacob. Send me this link, because no. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying I haven't seen anything that says that this is a reality. Sony, this contract is, you're not owned by the contract holder, but your game is exclusive to PlayStation. Again, send me this link. All right? Send me this link. But moving on to this article. It's far from the only issue developers are facing, especially in an industry that's been incredibly brutal as of late. Industry vet Josh Sawyer, studio design director at Obsidian, commented on the issue via a tweet responding to a game developer article on the subject yesterday, thanks to Games Radar. So here's the quote from Josh Sawyer. It's probably a misunderstanding. Yeah, Jacob. Probably a misunderstanding. Because if Stellar Blade was coming to Xbox, dude. Oh, man. Anyways, let's go to the quote. I believe burnout has already replaced crunch as the primary hazard of the game industry. Managers are setting teams up to fail, and devs are getting ground up as collateral damage. I have suffered from burnout myself. It's no joke. Burnout, sometimes called occupational burnout, is a state of full body exhaustion brought on by prolonged exposure to stress. It's important to remember here that stress is a physical, chemical response your body has, which can have very real medical implications. Stress introduces immeasurable chemical changes to your body, which can dent your immune system, raise your blood pressure, cause you to gain or lose weight, and ruin your sleep schedule. When burnout hits, it hits hard, and it can sometimes take months to recover, not as a reflection of someone's mental fortitude, but because their actual body has been harmed by the experience. Oh, that sounded a lot. All of this sounds like a whole lot of first world problems. I might be wrong. I might be talking a whole bunch of cack right now, but it sounds a lot like first world problems, because working hard and crazy schedules is, I don't know, man. I don't think it's something that's exclusive to the video game industry, because like I see it in my industry as well. I've seen it in other industries around mine, and life just keeps going. Like no one is, I don't, man. This idea of burnout, it's like take a vacation, bro. Just leave for 2 weeks. Take a 30-day vacation. I don't understand this with burnout. Maybe I need to speak to a psychologist or psychiatrist. I don't know, but it all seems like first world problems. Yeah, it's you don't want to work extra. It's kind of what you do in like the formative time of your career, like between the ages. Yo, welcome in, Cult Classic Cage. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming through. I'm good. I'm fantastic. Just talking about burnout and first world problems. Maybe my vision of how the work timeline works is wrong. But the way I see it is between like 23 after you graduate or 25 until fucking what 40. You're at your peak, the peak of your powers physically and mentally, and you need to maximize that, whether it's for your company. So by the time you're 40 or 45, they have to do right by you, in terms of not just pay but also positioning, or you need to maximize it in terms of monetizing your career so you can leave the workforce earlier. But either way, whether you're doing it for the boss man or whether you're doing it for yourself, between this like age gap, you need to maximize. And maximizing, it just sounds like working hard, crazy schedules, but getting shit done. Building your rep, grinding. It's something that I never understood, because like Dark Souls, for example, taught me and actually gave me the drive to wake up one day and be like, all right, fuck making excuses. The same way I was on that hill on Elden Ring and grinding that boulder. Don't judge me. We all grinded that boulder, all right? We all did it. The same way I was there grinding that boulder so I could get runes. I can fucking do this in real life. I have to do it in real life if I want to get more. And then when I actually did it, when I took those principles from freaking Elden Ring and put it into real life, suddenly I'm getting fruits from it. And then you get up and you're like, okay, so I'm not just going to do this at work. I'm going to go back to the gym. I'm going to put this grind mentality in the gym. And instead of being frustrated that after going to the gym for a month and I haven't gotten results, I remember that when I was grinding on Elden Ring, as I was grinding, I was seeing 0 results. But in the top left corner of the screen, it was adding up. The runes were adding up. Eventually, I was going to be able to cash in. I haven't cashed in everything, but I'm kind of cashing in now. Like now, my shirts, they're tight, but they're tight in the right areas. You know what I mean? Like it's not my stomach anymore. Now it's my pecs. Now, like my arms, because you're putting in the grind. Do you understand? That's why I don't understand bitching about hard work. You decided to become a game developer. What did you think was going to happen? Do you think that if you're a banker, you wouldn't be doing that career's version of crunch? Do you think if you're doing procurement, you wouldn't be doing that career's version of crunch? I don't understand it. Is it because we're dealing with video games? You're not allowed to work hard because we're dealing with video games. Is that the idea? I don't get it. Let's finish the article. Maybe something's wrong with me. Just spam it in the chat, guys. Loke is crazy. Hey, Kelly, welcome in, Kelly. Appreciate you for coming through, man. As with crunch, Sawyer adds, it's likely that managers may acknowledge creating the circumstances leading to burnout, but will not take the necessary steps to change them. It's important that devs continue to talk and support each other and to apply pressure until change is effected. What change are we talking about? I don't understand. What are we doing? ah, Texan ponies know to be good workhorses. Element, dude. I'm just saying, there's nothing easy in life. Like you need to put something in to get something out. This is a video game podcast. I'm not trying to sit here and talk and tell people how to live their lives. I'm just saying this sounds insane. It sounds like you want to reap rewards for shit you haven't planted. That's all I'm saying. Look, do we need or should want Fallout 77? I mean, there's 201 vaults, right? We need as many vaults as possible, Jacob. That's what we need. More vaults. All the vaults everywhere. Anyway, let's carry on the article. Several other devs chimed into the discussion, such as Jorge Murillo, a former senior designer at Blizzard who worked on Overwatch's ill-fated PvE mode. My team spent years trying to make PvE Overwatch content that people would have loved and ate up. Though we did not crunch, having a project you spend years on getting pulled from under you takes it out of you, makes you feel like, what was the point of all that work? You know what was the point, Jorge? The point is your salary. Am I the only one? I think I'm the only one. Am I the only one that knows that the primary reason we do our jobs is to get paid? Dude, if I'm working on something that I'm passionate about and I'm getting paid for 4 years, throughout the 4-year period, I'm getting my full paycheck. And then at the end of the 4 years, instead of them launching it, they say, we're going to shelve this project. I'm not really stressed, dude. I'm not stressed. Unless it's my project. Like, unless I'm the one who owns the project. I'm the one who owns the IP and I'm dreaming about doing this and then it gets shelved. If I'm just a dev, if I'm just doing like, I don't know, fucking sound, or if I'm doing landscape or whichever subsection of the programming that goes into video games, and then the whole project gets shelved, it's like, okay, first off, you signed a 4-year contract. During those 4 years, did you get paid? Yes. What's your problem? What's your problem, dude? I don't get it. I don't get it. I want Fallout 1000. Could we get to 1,000 vaults? That would be wild. Crunch won't exist soon because Gen Z will enter the gaming market and their Karen mothers will make it impossible to big companies to abuse their poor babies. That's not what's going to happen. That's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is the Gen Z is going to enter the market and then they're going to have to leave the market. You know why? Because there's always someone willing to do your job. It sucks, but it's true. Like, you're not special. You're not irreplaceable. You're just another number. That's just the fact of it. Mental, welcome in. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm trying to understand crunch and hard work. I don't understand it. You need to explain it to me. But before we get into that,
The lack of people wanting to be doing crunch or hard work.
No, the association of hard work as something that is inherently, I don't know, evil or bad or whatever.
Okay.
I don't understand it. But before we get to that, what have you been playing, Mental?
A few different games on the go, I guess. RoboCop's the primary, although I haven't got to it much here recently. Still working through The Last of Us 2 and Nier Automata, and a little bit of Remember Me as a retro, almost retro kind of game. It's an old one now, I think. When did that come out? Geez, like 2010, 2013, somewhere in that time zone, I think. But yeah, playing a little bit of everything,
Okay.
I guess.
Okay. All right. Lots of video. Oh, this is a good one. Cozy, right? Says in certain other fields they call crunch peak season. Work. Just work. You know?
Yeah,
Work.
exactly.
Mental. So let's get your take on this one. So essentially, this is the headline: devs are getting around. Devs are getting ground up as collateral damage. Fallout New Vegas lead says burnout has replaced crunch as the primary hazard of the game industry. What are your thoughts on this one?
It's not unique to the game industry, first and foremost. I think there's a lot of industries that
Is it real?
burnout or crunch.
Burnout.
I think burnout is real. I see it in my world,
Oh
right?
man,
Where
please
people
tell me.
just, oh, dude, when you're working 80 to 100 hours a week continuously, it catches up with you eventually. I've been there, and you do feel a bit burned out, and you need a break. It's I think it's a real thing, to be perfectly honest. But that said, if it's just, for a month or two or whatever, that's not a big deal. I mean, I worked in my role a while back where it was 5 years of just constant. Like there was no slow period ever. And most of my days were, well beyond the typical 8-hour day. And then weekends were pretty much disrupted every weekend because something came up, right? So, I mean, it gets tiring after a while. So I think that's a real thing. Crunch, by nature of it implies it's a short-term push to get something done that needs to be done. Been through that many times too, and that's not a big deal to me. That's just the reality of working hard and having a job that's demanding. But burnout, if it's an extended period, where you're going on a year or 2 years, that can be real. People, you have physical limits, you have mental limits. Mental drain is a real thing where you're constantly under pressure to be creative and continuously perform at a high level and release gold code, all of these, industry words, right? Mental work is draining. Like it does burn you out. You get to a point where you have mental fatigue and you need a break. You got to let your brain recuperate a bit. So that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, so
I don't know if
earlier
I
on,
went way beyond the scope of the question or not. But
no, you're definitely within the scope. So for me, my struggle is I feel like burnout is like your responsibility as an adult. You need to gauge you need to be able to gauge your own levels of fatigue,
your
mental
limits,
or
yeah.
physical. And then when you know you're reaching them, there's a reason why there's like government mandated time off. You need to consistently take that time off. Now, if you're a little, greedy and dumb, and then you sell. I know of people that sell their vacation. They sell
Yeah.
their vacation time because they want more money, and I'm like, that's not very smart. It's not
Catches
smart at
up with you.
all. Yeah. So, but when that happens, and then you have a mental breakdown, and you need to see a shrink or all this other stuff, is it really the company's fault? That's how I look at it. I look at it as, dude, we're all responsible for ourselves and all of our decisions, all of them. Even the decisions made in a situation where someone is threatening you or whatever, you can still choose to say, no, do your worst. So that's why I don't understand this whole mentality of trying to like pass off the responsibility of managing your own mental welfare onto someone else.
Yeah, it's
I love
I
it.
get,
Mental. Check
but
Vince's comment. That's actually a good one. That's a good one.
yeah.
Oh yeah. If someone knows it's
But
mental. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying, right? It's a reality. I mean, I've sold vacation time in the past because I wasn't
Ooh,
able to take it all. And you have situations where, you'll have constant project deliverables that are back to back to back. And depending on the circumstances, I think part of it, like if I look back, it's partly thinking you're too important to be away during that.
mm,
Um, and I'll take the blame on that type of situation because really, it's not true. It really isn't. Like I've had circumstances where I've been managing teams now for over 20 years, and you will have key team members, key players, whatever you want to call them, that you think are irreplaceable, and you desperately need that person. And there's this fear of, oh, what if this person leaves? I learned early on that everybody's replaceable. And
everyone.
typically, what happens, when that key individual leaves, someone else steps up and takes their place and learns those skills and does a fantastic job too.
Yep.
We kind of put ourselves into this mode where we become overly self important, and we think that we need to be there for everything. Part of my leadership development was learning that I'm hiring people because they're good at their jobs. They can live without me for a couple weeks. It's not a
Yeah.
problem. If
Yeah.
I've done my job as a leader, they should be able to be fine without me because they know what to do.
Yep.
That's the reality. And if we've done our job as a good team member, there's somebody else that can pick up my slack for a week or two while I'm away because we've
Yep.
shared the knowledge, we've worked together as a team, and ultimately that's why you do that. It's so that everybody can backfill for each other, and you have that capability to take a break when you need it. And I stress that with my teams all the time. Like, don't be an island, don't be a one man show or one woman show. Make sure people
CC as
know
many people as
what you're doing.
possible.
Oh, for sure. And if you develop something, make sure, the code is well commented. Walk through it with your backup, whoever that
Yeah.
person is. Make sure they understand what you've done, why you've done it the way you did it. So it's a balancing act, and ultimately, you're not wrong. It comes down to the individual in the end, regardless of corporate pressure. If you're doing your job effectively and you have decent leadership, I mean, leadership is part of the problem. They need to encourage knowledge sharing and making sure that there is someone that knows what's going on so that you can take a break. And I stress
Yeah.
that with my teams all the time. Make sure we're sharing the knowledge. Make sure you're, wherever you grow and you find something new, make sure you're teaching other people about it too.
Yep. 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 Speaking about replaceability, I had a colleague pass away 2 years ago. She was a very key figure in the province that she was located. And dude, literally, like 4 days later, not only did we have someone in a position, that person was just executing. It was almost as if she hadn't died.
Yeah.
So when I hear these stories about burnout and whatever, and I'm just like, dude, settle down and respect and accept responsibility. All right,
Yeah.
accept responsibility. You made bad decisions. You're trying to pass it on to someone else. Make peace with it, improve, and then take that lesson to the next job that you get in development. All right, instead of just splurging whatever, humble yourself. Humble yourself. When you get this new job, move to an area that's cheaper. Right? Move to an area that's cheaper. Get rid of the car. Get a cheaper car or a car that's more efficient. Do do well for you in 4 or 5 years. So when the contract ends, you're not desperate. You're not desperate. You have a big buffer, and you can make choices and decisions completely devoid of desperation. But if you don't plan, if you don't organize yourself, if you don't humble yourself to your reality, then things are not going to get better. And blaming other people is not going to help you.
Oh.
Yeah, Jacob, I understand what you're saying. ADHD, that's another issue all on its own. Blind Giant, mahalo. Welcome in, my brother. Welcome in. Good morning. And gaming is my safe space and battery charger for being able to do stressful stuff. Yeah, it's important to have your outlets. Mental, besides gaming, what other outlet do you have?
Oh, geez. Depends on the time of the year, I guess. But I like going for bike rides with my kids and stuff like that, just to get that physical activity. And I used to be like really into golfing, but that's kind of gone by the wayside over the past
Golf.
decade or so. Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I was quite athletic in my youth. Like I played Premier Division soccer and all kinds of stuff, and or
Football,
football. Sorry, I
soccer.
forgot who the
This
host was.
guy.
Well, wait a minute though.
This
You call
guy.
it soccer in Texas
I
too.
don't.
But,
All right. All right. Moving on with the article.
but yeah, football. Yeah, but I like to do stuff like that. Get out with the kids, do something. But yeah, I am more of a homebody, generally speaking. I don't like crowds.
Fair enough.
I'm an introvert as well.
Going back to the article, Sawyer says, as with crunch, it's likely that managers may acknowledge creating the circumstances. Wait, we've already read this. All right. Still, solving the issue of burnout may prove harder since it's a slow and insidious hazard. It's easy to spot when your development team is crunching and to implement steps to avoid it. You just look at how much overtime is happening. If less overtime is happening, you're solving your crunch. Simple as. Burnout, as the game developer article Sawyer is quote tweeting here outlines, is harder to solve. Alongside the more expected causes like overwork, the report states that burnout stems from more abstract concepts like insufficient rewards, lack of control, and absence of fairness. Two of these three is blaming other people for your circumstances. Two. As you might imagine,
Yeah.
a layoff happy industry hasn't helped. Shut the fuck up. Everyone's getting laid off. It's not just video games. Still, as Sawyer notes, game dev largely has moved away from capital C crunch. So there may be some hope yet, even if the industry is at large is still putting out fires. Bento, last thoughts on this topic before we move on.
The lack of accountability for things like this in the younger generation is pretty common. I see it regularly where it's always someone else's fault, generally speaking. And that alone is kind of tiring to manage people like that, to be honest. It can be frustrating, but generally speaking, I would agree, like in the sense that it's a common thing right now. I mean, to see this article have 2 out of 3 things kind of blaming someone else for it rather than the individual being accountable for the situation they've put themselves in, it's not a surprise because I see that's a trend. Right down to even with my own kids. They never want to be accountable for their own choices. And it's like, hold on, I'm trying to teach you accountability here, son. You need to step up and realize that you made the choice. You can't just blame that on somebody else.
Yeah. It's not smart and it's not productive either. It's not going to change your reality. Anyway, moving on, Overwatch 2 introduces harsher punishments for players who leave mid-match. So, Cozy, they're talking about you and rage quitting when you lose. This is who they're talking to. All right, this is all about you, Cozy. There's never been a higher number of devs. Blizzard is taking mid-match leaves on Overwatch 2 more seriously and is implementing harsher punishments when season 10 arrives. People playing unranked games won't be able to join a queue for 5 whole minutes. Or what shall they do with their time after leaving two after leaving 2 of their last 20 games? And if they leave at least 10 out of the last 20, they'll be suspended for 48 hours so they can finally get some work done. Players probably want to be even more careful when it comes to leaving competitive games, though, because doing so 10 times out of 20 will get them banned for the rest of the season. What? The rest of the season. In its announcement, Blizzard said that while it's aware not everyone abandons games on purpose, these changes should help curb those players who deliberately choose to leave a match. Damn. Mental. Initial thoughts.
Oh man, I have been pretty good with not rage quitting the games. Like, I have done it, but it's pretty rare. I could probably, in the years I've been gaming, it's maybe been 10 times. Like, and I do find it rather irritating when you lose players. Like lately, my only real PvP I play is Halo. So it can be pretty frustrating when you're in a match, it's tight, and then suddenly you've got a bot on your team because someone ditched. And, typically that pretty much seals your fate, right? Especially if it's a close game and you're skill matched quite well. So I do think that if you're a chronic dropper, you should face consequences for that of some sort. Maybe this gets a bit extreme with the banning for the whole season, but I don't know. I'm kind of on two mindsets with this, but generally I think it's good to have some kind of consequences for leaving. I do realize, though, that some people, their internet's not great either, and they can get dropped from that. But if you're in that situation, you're not typically a real benefit to the team anyway, because you're usually lagging and causing other issues if your internet's that bad. But it could be... I can have a bit of sympathy for someone that maybe just has a bad day with internet where, it kicks them a few times and now they're banned for 48 hours for something outside of their control. But I think that would be a very small percentage of people versus ones that just chronically rage quit.
That's what I was going to bring up. Like, what about people with bad internet? Because sometimes you're not, like, this is not what you want to do on purpose, but it just happens,
Yeah.
And like, do they have software to detect that? Oh no, Loke didn't purposely disconnect. It like the internet just dipped for a minute,
Yeah,
Like,
they
do
should
have
be
AI
able.
checking on this stuff or whatever.
They should be able to detect that, because if they're rage quitting and just exiting the game and going back into a lobby right away, there would be constant connectivity with that player to the servers. Whereas if, it's an internet issue, there's probably going to be something like packet loss would start to show up. And then eventually the player's going to drop due to a bad connection. Like, that should be detectable. There's going to be the odd time where it's like an off
What's
switch and
packet
they're
loss?
just gone. Packet loss is like... communication, like data packets will start to drop because there's a constant stream of packets going back and forth between you and the server, you to the server, and that stream is constant. So those packets are giving information back and forth as to where you are on the map, and all this information as to where all the other players are comes back to you, and there's just constant stream of data packets going back and forth. So what happens is when you start to have those packets get interrupted and they're dropping, that's packet loss. So that's why you'll see sometimes in a multiplayer game, if someone's rubber banding where they're here and then suddenly they show up over here, that's because my hands are disappearing, but you'll see them moving across the screen and then they might bounce back to here and then start moving across the screen again. That's all due to packet issues, right? And the data streams being interrupted, and the server's trying to compensate for it. Now, as Sir X-Man pointed out, there are times when that just shuts off, and that would be like a power outage scenario where the internet's just completely gone. that is going to be a little more difficult to check, because someone could just quit the game entirely and that stream would get cut off the same way. But with issues like packet loss, if it gets bad enough, if you're even just for normal web browsing, if you're experiencing more than about 2% packet loss, so you're dropping 2 packets out of 100, you're going to start to notice, even just in regular internet stuff like watching YouTube, the video is going to pause for a second. It might get choppy, depending how bad the packet loss is, because YouTube will buffer as well. Like it'll try and download more than, so you've got like a 30-second buffer, so you could lose connectivity for 30 seconds and it would keep going.
And keep going.
Yeah, but if the packet loss gets bad enough, it won't even load the video because it won't have enough response time.
Like on one hand, we have to think about the people with bad internet, but I live in Mozambique, and like my internet's it's not bad. Like, I've never disconnected. I've never lost connection. I've had situations where people said my internet was choppy, but I lost connection because of how bad the internet was. So
see, and depending where the server is too, like it might not even necessarily be your connection, and this is the problem. They they will, like, what can happen, because on a wide area network, right, there could be 10 or 15 hops between you and the server you're connecting to. If any one of those routers along the way that's routing your packets to get to that server, just one of them can be having an issue, and that can be the packet loss you're experiencing. So you can go, that's why sometimes when you're doing multiplayer, especially in a game like Destiny that's peer-to-peer, if you've got, 12 people in that game, it's a 6v6, and there's one person in that game could have issues, the other 11 might be fine. But because it's peer-to-peer, that one person having issues is going to affect the gameplay for all 11 that are in there with them, because they're having issues sending information out as to where they are in that map. So then the whole match can kind of be screwed up because of that, especially if they're the host. If they're the host in a peer-to-peer network like that, then everybody's going to have a horrible gameplay. So that's where, tools like a NetDuma router can help, because you can filter who can actually connect and play with you. When I played a lot of Destiny, I used the NetDuma because you can use geolocation to identify where people are. And basically, I would restrict it to everybody on the west coast of North America. I wouldn't play with anyone past like central.
Well, that's not
the center line.
That's not very inclusive of you.
No, it wasn't, but it meant that I had really good matches pretty much all the time.
Well, our ESG score doesn't care about your matches, bro. What's this?
Yeah, I was being very exclusionary.
Openly saying that he doesn't want to play with Africans. It's like, what?
See, the funny thing is, though, I could have likewise just gone and played only with people in Africa by just using geolocation services to do that.
Did you actually do it?
No, because the gameplay would be terrible.
I should kick
because
you
of the
off
latency
right now. I should just kick you off the show right the hell now.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, Loke, I could, with that geolocation servicing, if I knew your IP specifically, I could make sure you were always included. You would always be allowed to play with me. Like, I had a buddy in Hawaii that I would just always make sure he was included with me. He could always join and play with me regardless.
Yeah, but Hawaii
of
is
his
also
location.
In the US.
But it's a long way away,
you
right?
You get 0 brownie points for that one. Like, 0. Hawaii is technically the US, all right? Even if you said, like, oh, I have a Canadian friend that I played with, and oh, man. All right.
Oh, geez.
Let's go back to the article. Developers also making it easier for groups of friends to play together in competitive mode, no matter their rank, by introducing wide groups. A wide group is defined by having players from a wide range of ranks, from diamond to tiers up to 5 skill divisions lower. Blizzard admits that opting for the new queue option will mean longer wait times, since it has to pair a wide group with another group with similar ranks in order to be fair. But it's hoping that the new feature will eliminate the need for an alt account when playing with friends. The company is also adding new features designed to help prevent abuse and harassment in the game. Here we go. People will soon be able to add up to 10 players in their avoid as teammate. Just 10? You know what? Twitter lets me block like as many people as I want. So 10. Come on, Blizzard. Step your game up. In their avoid as teammate list instead of just 3. It's also making it easy to report disruptive behavior by updating its reporting interface. Finally, Blizzard is blocking a player's access to text or voice chat in their matches if they were found to have engaged in abusive behavior and have broken the company's code of conduct. They can only get those privileges back if they spend time playing Overwatch 2 in their best behavior. Mental thoughts.
Well, my first thought is I've never blocked anybody or reported anybody for being mean to me. And I've
No
had
one's
some
mean to you on
pretty.
Twitter. Come on.
Oh, well, yeah. No, not on. Well, I'm not talking about Twitter. I'm talking about gaming, like on Xbox or PlayStation.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've got my share of nasty messages too, right? But
Ooh.
I've never bothered to go down the path of actually reporting them or blocking them or anything like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, what's bad behavior these days, I guess is the question. I don't think anyone really knows because there's a lot of
Oh, we know.
things that are
Come
said.
on.
Yeah, well, some things are obvious, I guess, but there's a lot of stuff like my son got a temporary ban from on Xbox Live for saying poop to somebody. Like this
He
is
said
he
poop.
he
Literally
yeah,
poop.
poop. Yes, in the chat. He chatted someone at someone saying you're playing like poop, and that got him a temporary ban. And it was his friend.
Yeah.
It was somebody that he's friends with and would play with all the time, and he still got banned for that. And I find that kind of silly. I mean, he's a young kid. He was like I think 9 or something at the time, and I was just like, you got banned for poop? Like, what's going on here, right? But maybe it's because he's that young that's why it got flagged. I don't know, but I find it.
Oh man, I don't want to get into the political stuff today because if we do,
No, yeah,
because like getting banned for saying poop, we can agree that
yeah,
it's nothing. We can agree it's nothing, but
yeah.
man, no, let's not get political today. Let's focus on the video.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Modder turns PlayStation 1 console into a working handheld. The PS Hanami uses original hardware rather than emulation. Now, this is very interesting. I like this cat. This cat is a very cool cat. Mm-hmm. Florida-based modder Eveltel Griffin shared the creation on BitBuilt, a forum for people who like to create new things from old consoles. The handheld, which okay, I'm just going to call him Griffin, all right?
Sure.
The handheld, which Griffin has named the PS Hanami, is made from original PlayStation hardware rather than emulation, describing it as an old school portable with lots of hot glue. Griffin says that the handheld is around 7 inches long and has a built-in battery which runs for around 2.5 hours on a single
Not bad.
charge. Yep. In order to fit the PS1 hardware into such a small device, they took an original PS1 motherboard, cut it in half, folded it like a book, then rewired it. Because it naturally would no longer be able to run CDs, they also replaced the disk drive with an optical drive emulator ODE called X-Station, which lets them run PlayStation disc images from an SD card. The handheld also integrates a DualShock controller, but only the rumble functionality. There are no analog sticks, meaning a handful of games like Ape Escape won't work on it. Despite the impressive technical accomplishment, Griffin stresses that there are plenty of issues with their creation. The PS Hanami has no volume controls. Ugh, its power button is finicky and can turn the unit off if brushed against.
Oh,
And has no
jeez.
heats. It has no heat sinks, so it gets nice and toasty after a while. Oof.
I
So this
mean,
is definitely something.
pretty
It's something you're
cool.
not going to use on like often. You're not going to use this often, basically.
No, but I mean, pretty cool in many respects. I admire people that have the ingenuity to just cut a motherboard in half and fold it and then rewire everything. That's impressive. All the little
And it
traces
still
and
works.
stuff. Yeah, like having to resolder all those traces. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I've
Mhm.
had a bit of experience where I've had a scratch on a motherboard where you have to kind of scrape it away and then lay in a small piece of copper wire and solder it together.
Oof.
It's hard. It's really hard because I'm not that good at it, but this is insane. Like that's really cool.
This is really something.
Yeah.
I'm just
That's
shocked. I'm shocked that it still works.
yeah, like look at that. Look at all those wires they had to run.
And this is all very manual.
That's crazy.
Let's
But so
see.
that's
Let's see
really
it
cool.
working. I want to see it working. Oh, there's a YouTube link. All right, let's go to YouTube. Or not. Please tell me there's the sound. Please tell me there's the PlayStation sound. Please, please. Where's the sound?
I heard it. Didn't you hear sound there?
What? I didn't hear any sound.
Oh, there's sound. There's totally sound.
Oh, okay. Well, it's
Yeah.
weird because I didn't hear. Ooh, oh, they get Tekken 2. Do they have Metal Gear? Oh, they have Metal Gear Solid. Oh, dude. Very nice. That's the start button. That's the select button.
I wonder why you don't get the sound.
Yeah, I don't understand either. Because I can hear you perfectly.
Do you have is YouTube muted? Like is the video muted on your end?
No, it's not.
But then we wouldn't have sound.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh no, I fixed it.
Weird.
I fixed it. The problem was the source. The source on my laptop.
Okay.
The
There you
source
go.
was my Bluetooth earphones instead of this
Gotcha.
here.
Yeah.
Well, it works. No. Why would you go for this? Why wouldn't you? If you want to show it off, why not give us Metal Gear? Jeez, man. All right. Whatever.
Pretty
You know,
cool
clearly, yeah, it's very cool. But clearly, Griffin here he's not very great with quality. You know, dude didn't go for freaking Metal Gear, but okay.
though.
Anyways,
Oh man.
last week I reshelled my Game Boy Color and repasted my PS4 Pro. It's fun opening electronics. Okay, it only costs $10 to mod a PS2 to play everything. Is that legal though? I don't know, buddy.
I think it's one of those questionable areas. I'm surprised Sony hasn't had it pulled down or anything. But,
What?
oh, just the video even on it showing that he did it. But I guess Nintendo would probably do that. But
No. Actually, I did tackle the Nintendo thing, and the lawyer from Nintendo says that the main thing that gets their blood boiling is not when you do stuff with their like machines or with their IP. The issue arises as soon as you try to monetize it.
okay.
That's when you have a problem with Nintendo. If you don't try to
Yeah, that
monetize it, y'all are best buds.
Yeah, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. All right, moving on. The Knuckles TV series gets an official trailer and April release. The 6 episode series will launch on April 26th in the US and Canada exclusively on Paramount Plus. It will stream on April 27th on all Paramount Plus territories and in Japan later in the year. Mental, are you excited for this? I'm not going to play any song because it's YouTube.
Right. Am I excited for it? Probably
Yeah.
not. My daughter would be. She's
Also, you're not into Sonic.
sorry.
You're not
I'm
into
not.
Sonic.
Not really. No.
Not. Yeah. And then also it comes out on the 26th, which is the same day that Stellar Blade launches. So I don't know, man. it's as far as my attention personally is concerned, forget it.
Yeah, it's not gonna be something I
Not gonna
rush
do
out to
anything.
watch, but who knows? My daughter might talk me into it.
Richie does not like Paramount Plus. Okay. Or should I say Ray Queasy? My bad. My bad. This one's going to be interesting, Mental. Former gaming executive has been sentenced to death. A Chinese court said an executive.
I'm just kidding.
Yo. A Chinese court said an executive poisoned his colleague and is now sentenced to death. Okay, so he's not being sentenced because of like predatory microtransactions or the
Or
stuff
bad
that we would
games.
hope. Yeah, the stuff that we would hope execs would get sentenced for. That's not what's happening. So, anyways,
Not like he
former
hired
gaming.
SBI or anything like that. I'm
No,
just kidding.
no.
We're not going to
He
get
didn't
into
do
that.
Not this week. Trying
No.
to cleanse the palate. But trust me,
Yeah.
right? Like on
Hey.
the tab for the gaming log, I still have you know what? Every week that goes by, it's still there, and I add like another thing and another thing and another. I feel like maybe in a week or two, maybe we should start like 3 hours earlier. And if it ends up being 6 hours, then that'll be it. And then we can get through the whole freaking thing.
My family might disown me, but
Man, you might have to do 3 hours with me, and then I'll do the other 3 hours by myself because I would like to get this off my plate. And it feels like every week that goes by, there's more and more and more.
It's not ending. It's not ending anytime soon. There's a lot of stuff coming out into governments and being involved and all that junk. It's actually kind of bizarre what this has kind of turned up. But
and cut. Going back to the article. A former gaming exec has been sentenced to death in China for poisoning the founder of Chinese gaming company Yuzu Games. Not to be confused with Yuzu, the platform that was emulating Nintendo games for years. This story also connects to the recently released Netflix series Three Body Problem for the creators of Game of Thrones. Have you seen Three Body Problem? Have you seen it?
I have not.
I've heard of it. Apparently it's amazing, but I haven't seen it. Anyway, CBS News reports that Xu Yao poisoned Yuzu founder Lin Qi in December 2020 over a business dispute. Lin's tea was poisoned, according to the Hollywood Reporter, and he died 10 days later at the age of 39. Xu was taken into custody not long after Lin's death. So why are we reporting it now? A court said multiple other people at Yuzu were sickened but survived from Xu poison drinks in the company's office over reported disputes. This also connects to Netflix Game of Thrones and Three Body Problem because Yuzu owns the movie right to the sci-fi series of Three Body Problem, which the creators of the Game of Thrones, D.B. Weiss and David Benioff, are adapting. Xu was in charge of business unit with Yuzu that handled this, and Lin was named as executive producer on Three Body Problem for Netflix. A Chinese media outlet said Xu was a big fan of Breaking Bad and might have gotten the idea to poison Lin from the show.
Oh, wow.
From the show. which also involved a poisoning plotline. I don't like it when they try to make connections with stuff that has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Breaking Bad
dude
was not the
has
first show to put a poisoning
yeah.
plotline.
Yeah, no, that's a stretch to me, honestly. Like you say, there's been so many shows where somebody's been poisoned and killed that yeah, just because he's a fan of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's a
Bizarre,
bit much.
but
A Chinese outlet said, "Sure, okay." It was certainly disconcerting. Benioff told the Hollywood Reporter, "When you work in this business, you're expecting all sorts of issues to arise. Somebody poisoning the boss is not generally one of." Yeah, yeah. Let's agree.
no.
Let's agree. In terms of Hollywood stuff, the last thing that anyone is picturing is someone trying to kill someone else. That's the
Yeah.
last thing. Although that's all the movies are about. It's about someone trying to kill someone, but not IRL. Amazon Studios previously negotiated with Yuzu to get the rights of the Three Body Problem and reportedly spent 8 months trying to sign a deal. THR source said Lin attended a meeting in Los Angeles to discuss the rights and dressed like a gangster. It
How
was the crazy. It was the craziest meeting of my career. An executive who attended the meeting told THR. Lin was so obnoxious. We were 1 minute away from signature when their CEO said, "Let's do a joint venture instead," which effectively blew up the deal. Oh my lord. This Lin dude sounds
wow.
like a piece of work. I feel like maybe we should Google what he looks like.
Yeah,
Let's
I'd be
do that.
curious. It's too bad they didn't have a picture of him dressed as a gangsta.
Oh my
Like,
goodness. All right, let's okay. Let's look at both of them. All right. So first, Shu Yao. Let's see what Shu Yao looks like. And obviously, there's no faces. And I don't care enough to look
try and
deeper
find it.
into it.
Yeah.
Let's look at Lin Key. Let's look at Lin Key real quick. Oh, okay, here we go. He's the gangster. I think. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Looks like a fun dude.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. That's not him. Okay, so this is definitely him. He's the one who was dressed like a gangster. Got killed.
Are
For
you
anyone that doesn't know how to speak Portuguese, here it says quem lê o bilionário chinês morto no dia de Natal. So apparently he was killed on Christmas.
okay? We're not seeing what you're sharing. I don't think we're just seeing the original search.
Really?
We're not. Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Whoops. Well, I got to see. Well, so this is what I was looking at with the little scarf here.
Okay.
It looks like it's trying. Looks like it's trying little too hard. Anyways, so that was the weird story. An exec got killed because of rights to a TV show. Good time. So Richie, now we know objectively Paramount is not boring. All right, it's not a boring service. People are getting killed out here.
Yeah, crazy. Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it? Next,
Mhm.
get the children out the room if they're watching. The Twitch hot tub meta has reached new heights with a green screen booty scene. And I'm mostly upset by how inefficient it is. So, mental. This is empowering and beautiful for women, but Stellar Blade is regressive in every way, shape, and form. Please tell us why.
I honestly, my brain doesn't compute on things like this. It's kind of like the same way Hades 2 is getting all this hype
Oh,
over
yeah.
stuff, and what are they, like all these gaming journalists are all horny over Hades 2. I don't get it. Why Stellar Blade is frowned upon and it's horrible and regressive, like you said, but Hades 2 is good, and why this is good. But yeah, there's a lot of hypocrisy out there, I think. It's pretty crazy. It's a strange world, a clown world, as many people say. It doesn't make sense to me. I find this just dumb, to be honest. Like, I yeah, I wouldn't waste 5 minutes watching this. It just seems bizarre. Yeah, exactly, Richie.
You can be lewd in public, but not in private. Welcome to 2024.
It's
So
so weird.
my follow-up question to you would have been, Mental, would you watch the stream?
Sorry, I
I
answered that
guess
already, but
I guess you
no.
already answered it already. But let's get into let's read a little bit on the article. Twitch has had, let's call it, a complicated relationship with adult content over the past few months. In case you're completely uninitiated, the rough timeline is as follows. Back in 2021, the hot tub met, wherein streamers would rake in viewers by streaming in, you guessed it, a hot tub. Twitch played ball after a brief controversy wherein a hot tub streamer was demonetized without warning, despite playing the game to the letter of the platform's law at the time. Then, later last year, Twitch decided to get a little more relaxed about the whole thing by permitting artistic nudity on the platform. This lasted 48 hours before Twitch decidedly actually, no,
Never
no,
mind.
wait,
Yeah.
never
Nothing
mind.
to
That
see
was a
here.
bad move and shut the whole thing down. The arms race between
Jeez.
sexy entrepreneurs, arms race. That's what we're calling it. Between sexy entrepreneurs. We're calling them entrepreneurs. That's what we're doing. Okay. The arms race between sexy entrepreneurs on Twitch is back with a vengeance in 2024. First up, Twitch had to step in. Twitch had to step in and add implied nudity to its list of sexy no-nos after streamers were bending the rules with black bars that gave the impression of nakedness. Were you aware of this, Mental?
Vaguely, like I heard bits and pieces about it, but it has made me think, like, if this is okay, what if the Korean model that is part of Stellar Blade had her own channel and was doing stuff? Then would she be applauded?
Then
It,
she'd be empowering women.
yeah, it
That's
is bizarre. Like, I personally like the just chatting part of Twitch. I mean, it tends to be the largest category, I think. Uh, I don't know why it
that's
has
where more
such
people
large
go,
appeal,
right?
but yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick look. But yeah, there's currently 653,000 viewers watching just chatting. The next
Half a
closest
million.
is yeah, over 500,000. Yeah, and the next closest is Grand Theft Auto 5 at just under 250,000. So it's got more than double the views of the next game in the line.
Not just the
Uh,
next game, one of the most engaged games of all time.
yeah, and I mean even Fortnite 155,000, Valorant is 122,000, League of Legends is 174,000. And just chatting is kicking their butts because of the
Owning
butts
them.
on just chatting, apparently.
Take this guy. While most
Jeez.
streamers have labeled this content appropriately with the sexual themes label and are wearing clothing behind the object or outside the camera frame, for many users, the thumbnails of this content can be disruptive to the experience on Twitch, which, okay, sure, but I'd argue that if you have the sexual themes label active, you're probably okay with having your experience on Twitch disrupted by sexual themes. Isn't that the entire point of turning it on? Following that, in what can only describe as a divine act of creative inspiration. Streamer Mogpie has leveled up her game. Her butt is a green screen. Humankind and machine drift ever closer, like Icarus donning wax wings to soar close to the sun.
Yeah, bizarre. Bizarre. I imagine the next step will be green shirts like low cut V, so you see the cleavage, and then you'll just have the green screen will be the shirt or something like that too. I don't know. It's
Dude,
bizarre.
the black bars, I saw it on Gundam's channel. Like the chest was all out. The black bars were just on the part of the nipple. That was it. And that was Twitch. And I was like, dude, what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
What are we
What are we
doing?
doing? I think a lot of the people that have issues with it too is, kids can be watching Twitch, right? Like, and whether or not, oh, you're such a prude or whatever. It doesn't seem to fit with a gaming platform, which is what it was originally at. So I think that's where most of the detractors have issues. I'm somewhat indifferent to it, but at the same time, I can see it from both points of view. The just chatting chat or part of it is probably one of the biggest money makers on the platform, I would guess.
It is.
It's pretty huge.
It's why they don't ban the content
Yeah.
creators on that
Yeah.
section.
Yeah,
They're the
any of the
money
big
makers.
ones just get a slap on the wrist and, okay, yeah, don't do that. That was not good. Oh, here's your channel back. Enjoy.
Now go back and make me some money, bitch.
Exactly.
Anyway,
They're basically
Eh,
pimping them out, I guess, is what you're
pretty
saying.
much. Pretty much. Anyways, GTA 6 is now targeting fall 2025, but could slip to 2026 report. So this is from GameSpot. According to a report from Kotaku, one of the most highly anticipated game releases ever, Grand Theft Auto 6 could potentially slip to 2026. The site initially reported that Rockstar Games is currently planning to release the game in early 2025. However, the site reported, why the site? Keep saying Kotaku. Reported that it's becoming more and more likely that the game could slip to late 2025 or 2026. On March 26, Kotaku updated its report to say fall 2025 is the new target date for GTA's release. The majority of sources were certain that early 2025 is no longer possible. Instead, the target is firmly fall 2025. And while most seem confident of hitting that date, I'm still told there's a possibility of a delay, as previously reported, Kotaku reported. Mental. Fall 2025 is what exactly? Because we don't do that in Mozambique. We just say winter or summer. What is fall? What's the period?
That would start as of, I think it's September 21st is the first day of autumn or fall. So
Until?
between that until December 21st, where winter starts officially.
That's fall.
That's your 3 months, yeah. October, November,
Alright.
December.
All right. So what's
So-
your hype on GTA 6, and like what would you like to see and not see in GTA 6?
I'm going to commit sacrilege here. I don't really play Grand Theft Auto, so I haven't bought
What?
Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm probably one of the only people that hasn't bought it multiple times, let alone buy it at all. But I have it because I got it for free on Epic Game Store at one point. And I've never played it. I haven't installed it. But I played Grand Theft Auto 3 a bit and 4 a bit. And just never really got into the games.
San Andreas?
No. Yeah, no. Okay, I'll leave. I'll catch you guys later. I'm so
What the fuck? What is
yeah, I
wrong
don't know.
with you?
I don't know. I just they never really pulled me in, I guess. Even the campaigns or anything. I don't know. I mean, I probably put 20 hours into Grand Theft Auto 4 back on the Xbox 360, and it was okay, but I just wasn't my thing really.
I had follow-up questions and all types of stuff.
Had all
But
these plans, and here I am letting you down horribly. We should have talked
what?
about this.
We shoulda. We
Yes.
shoulda. What?
Yeah, I know. I'm one of the few out there that just, I don't know. Grand Theft Auto is just, it's just another game to me. It's nothing special, and obviously
Nothing.
because I haven't played it, but I don't know. Okay, fine. I'll try Grand Theft Auto 5 at some point, but
Please, please, for the love
it's
of gaming, dude. G maybe. Get the hell out of here, G maybe. Get out.
Hey, right on. Right on.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. That is wild.
Yeah.
I've never played GTA either. That's worse than you, Mental, because you have at least put in
I've
a couple
tried
of
it.
hours.
Yeah, I tried 4 for quite a while, like probably 20 hours or so on 4. But I don't know, like,
When you say tried,
I mean,
it's like you were struggling during those hours.
yeah, like I tried to enjoy it. And I mean, it was okay, but I forget what else I
This
was
is
playing at the time because
ridiculous.
it's quite a while ago. But I I don't know. I got pulled into other games that I enjoyed more. I'm more of a shooter guy. That's just the reality. And mind you, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need to give it another try. There's so many people that think I'm nuts, but different
Blasphemy.
strokes for different folks.
Blasphemy. No. When it comes to video games, right? No. Like there's certain games, dude. It's not about, oh, this is his preference, right? There's certain tentpole games like Grand Theft Auto, Pokemon, Metal
Never
Gear.
played Pokemon. Never will play Pokemon. Not interested at
So I
all.
played
Not
it.
not even a slightly interested in Pokemon.
Okay, Final Fantasy.
Well, you know my story on Final Fantasy. I mean, I tried 7, the remake, and got bored after about 2 hours. And but you guys told me go back and play it just in story mode, and maybe I'd
Yeah.
enjoy it more just for the
Yeah.
story of it. But it's just not the style of game I like to play, where you're having to switch between characters and do all this crap. I'm not interested. I just want to shoot things, generally speaking. And
Blasphemy.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I get into some of the games, like Last of Us was great. I played all the God of Wars. I played games that aren't just shooters, but I've never, Final Fantasy's never been something I've got into.
All right,
Metal Gear,
Halo.
I played.
Halo.
Yeah, I play Halo.
All right, God of War.
Yeah, that's okay.
You
Although
know
the
what?
last one was kind of watered down, but Kratos turned a little too touchy-feely for me.
He's old, dude.
But
Is that not what
yeah,
happens with time?
he's a god, though, isn't he? Isn't he supposed to be a god?
Yes.
Like, how is he getting old? Like,
Because everything
why
with a beginning, no, everything with a beginning has an end. That's why the Christian God talks about, I was there before time even existed.
yeah,
Because
I'm
everything that starts will finish. So even the Greek gods, if Zeus was born, he has to die.
so they're
That-
not
that-
immortal then.
No, what they have is extremely long lifespans, but
Okay.
immortal. I don't see that.
I thought that was the whole
being-
concept of a god, is that you're immortal. Like, so he's really just average dude with a long lifespan of war.
and
Not
hard
God
to
of
kill.
War.
And hard
Yeah.
to kill. That's
Yeah.
pretty
They
much
nerfed
it.
him pretty good in Ragnarok, I thought.
Oh yeah.
I mean, compared to Arturus, like,
Atreus.
whatever.
Oh
Whiny
my
kid.
goodness, you did not
Whiny
like
kid.
him. Jeez, got the name wrong. Doesn't even care. does
Yeah,
not even.
whatever. No, I got yeah, old people are grumpy. This is true. This is true. Your patience runs out as you get older. You use it all up when you're younger, and yeah, what it is you see the stupidity in so many things because of your years. You gain wisdom over time, so you have
Yeah,
less patience for stupidity and dumb choices and stuff because you've lived all that already, and through experience you can see the mistakes people are making, and it's
yeah.
like you want to just grab them and shake them and say, "Hey,
Don't
stop
do
it! You're
this.
being dumb." Yeah, like I've been down that path. It doesn't end well. And I think that's what happens as you age. You see that stuff so easily now, and you can see people being led astray and all these different things. But I think that's where the grumpy old guys come into play. But it's just
Hmm.
different. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Any other questions about those games? Like,
God
yeah.
damn.
I don't know. I found Ragnarok though a little disappointing as to how Kratos was as a character. Like, definitely not a high meta for me. I played the whole thing and stuff, but it was I don't know. You play it because Kratos is a badass, not a touchy feely sort of character, right?
Yeah.
You wanna go out and kill things and not
But
listen
he
to these
evolved,
long
dude.
narratives of evolved. Nah.
Yeah.
No,
No
he got
one.
nerfed, man. He just got nerfed.
Ah,
That's all that was. Like
sure.
the
But
whole game, it felt like they were setting him up to die and be done with. That's what it felt like to me. Like there was so many parts of the narrative where it was just you're being taken down this path where they were going to kill him off. And
I didn't
that's
feel that.
how it felt to me. Oh, I felt that totally. But that's just I'm old. So, you're
Yeah.
more in touch with mortality as you age too. You can
Mm.
see things you see things differently the older you get, right? When you're in your 20s, you're, late teens, 20s, and even into your 30s, you feel somewhat invincible all the time as a guy, or at
Yeah.
least I did. But as you start to age, life changes and you start to see things from through a different lens somewhat. Now you could say that's what, oh, Kratos, he's just getting in touch with his mortality. But again, God of War. God is this thing that just it didn't feel like Kratos to me anymore. It didn't feel like the God of War. It felt like, average dude, like I said. But
Okay, let me see this. Is
oh,
Kratos
Vincent.
immortal? Okay, so according to the law, Kratos is not truly immortal. He's considered a demigod, which means he has godlike powers and abilities, but is susceptible to death. None of the Greek gods are truly immortal, and Kratos was even turned mortal at one point. However, Kratos is a demigod turned full god in the Greek series of events in God of War. All gods are immortal, meaning they don't die of old age. As Kratos has proven time and time again, however, that doesn't mean gods are unkillable. So, are they immortal or not? Because at one point in this, it says none of the gods are truly immortal. And then at the end, it says all gods are immortal, meaning they don't die of old age. But if you played God of War, does Zeus not have white hair? Does he not look like an old man? Do
Yeah,
do do his brothers not look like weathered old men? They do.
sure. I think they should get more powerful as they age, though, in that sense. Kind of like
Really?
vampires, right? The elder vampires are way more powerful than the younger
Oh
ones,
yeah. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Like they can start to look old, but to me, if you're immortal with age, you should be getting stronger and more wisdom, which would make you more of an obstacle to overcome, so to speak.
Yeah.
But
Kind of like
it's a little
how Dracula is feared by even the vampires because he's the eldest one. So
right, exactly that, right? Like you should
yeah.
be the master of all to some extent. And
Yeah.
Kratos did not feel like that. I mean, like I say, the difference between playing as Kratos and playing as the kid, I'm going to avoid the
Atreus.
name. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Playing as
Wow.
him, like you could go in
Wow.
it, like at least for me, maybe the way the characters played is something, but I found it way easier to clear out hordes of bad guys with the kid than I did versus playing as Kratos. And you look at the difference between the character models, and Kratos is this big huge buff dude, and then you got this scrawny kid, and it just like seriously, it just felt wrong. It felt backwards and upside down, and that's why I felt like they were setting up Kratos to die, because he was
Yeah.
noticeably, to me in the gameplay, he felt noticeably weaker than he did in the 2018 version. Did not feel the same to play, I thought.
If they kill off Kratos, I'm done. Like the next God of War, the way it ended. Okay, spoilers for anyone that hasn't played Ragnarok,
Yeah,
right? Just
put it
leave
on
for like
mute.
2 minutes or something. But um, the way it ended, it looks like the next God of War game is going to be focused on Atreus.
Yeah, well, this one somewhat was already anyway. Like that's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
getting at. Like you could feel they were, the intent is to hand the
transitioning.
torch, yeah, hand over the torch to the kid, and that's just going to be a non-starter for me, you
And
know.
and this takes me to like the Indiana Jones movie. It takes
Right. Singing Moana
yeah,
songs.
singing Moana songs. It
Yeah.
takes me back to the Indiana Jones movie or the Star Wars, the last one. What was it called? Rise of Skywalker. Um,
Yeah.
the people writing these things, for some reason, they don't understand that these characters are not cows to be worn. Like God of War is not something that you wake up and you put it on like Batman's mask and say, "Now I'm the God of War."
Yeah.
The Skywalker name, being the Jedi in the universe, is not something that, oh yeah, and now I'm the Skywalker, or putting on the hat, now I'm Indiana Jones. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's something that like more and more failures need to come through, and then people will believe it. Until then, anyone that says what I'm saying is toxic and they don't know what they're talking about. So we'll leave it at that. The kid was buff,
Yeah.
so those scrawny ponies had a character they could identify. Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
And
with
then
you though. Like if it's not Kratos, I
fuck.
won't be playing the next God of War.
Dude, if they do this, Richie says in the next God of War they're going to Joel of Kratos. If they do this,
Yeah, I've been having a hard enough time finishing Last of Us 2. Like the dynamic, what made Last of Us 1 so good to me was the dynamic between Ellie and Joel. And I mean, frankly, you want to play as Joel, right? There was a
yes,
few moments in that game where you play as Ellie, and that was okay because you go back to being Joel. I mean, he was the character I was playing the game for,
as
essentially. Yeah, exactly. Like that that
you were
that
role
was the
playing
draw
as
for
Joel.
me. Yeah. And then in 2, of course, he's gone early on in the game, like it was like a couple hours in, not even. And he's gone, and then you're playing as Ellie, but there's no real dynamic. Like the dynamic between Ellie and Dina is just not the same. Like it's just I don't know. It's not a terrible game. I've been enjoying it up to where I'm at, and but just having that missing dynamic for me, and it's not, oh, I mean, Joel didn't have to be, it could have been a female character. I wouldn't have cared because there's that relationship still of that would make sense, right? But oh, no, she is not.
Oh,
But
maybe she identifies as him. How dare you? Raichi, how
Oh
dare
boy,
you?
here we go into the stay out of the identity talk. Let's.
God damn it. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm trying to veer away from it. I really am.
Yeah.
Sorry, but go ahead. Finish your point, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that's where studios, I think, sometimes get a god complex and they just think they know best. And, as players, we have the opportunity to just say no. And if the game's a total flop, hopefully they realize the error in their ways. But, that's life experience can come
Yeah,
into play, and they'll have to experience that failure to realize they don't know everything. And uh, there's a reason they have fans, and it's not because the people want to just consume everything that they put out. It's because they're fans of a specific IP and the way it plays.
yeah, yeah. And that
So
goes to the
anyway,
whole Warhammer thing as well.
yeah,
Now,
like there's a pretty
l-
big uproar there. I don't follow Warhammer, but from what I'm hearing, it's pretty crazy.
yeah, let me give you the cliff notes. Um, there is a god emperor, right?
Okay.
Like the universe is at war, essentially. And
Okay.
human beings, because we are exposed to war for so long, we just become a warmongering faction, essentially, in the universe or in the
Okay.
galaxy. We have a god king in the Warhammer universe, and the god king has his like special god. They're called Adeptus Custodes. Now,
Okay.
Warhammer has existed since the 80s.
Right.
And ever since then, there have only been male, um, there have only been male, like personal gods to the God King in the Warhammer
Uh-huh.
universe. Now they introduced female custodies into the lore. All well and good. The problem is people asked the Warhammer like page on Twitter or whatever, talking about why is this happening? We have
Right.
law, we have extensive law. It's not just that no one's ever seen a female custodies, is that even in the law, it mentions that the Adeptus Custodes are boys taken from their parents. Specifics. They're very specific. All right.
Yeah.
Reichi, exactly, Reichi. Custodes are the top of the top of 40K. Like
Okay.
if you think Space Marines are like amazing, Custodes, like they demolish Space Marines. All right. Cool,
Okay.
cool, 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 cool. So the fans are asking, why are we seeing female Custodes? And the response that they're getting from Games Workshop, which is the people in charge of the IP, is they've always been female Custodes.
I could see why that would upset people that are big fans of the
Yeah,
lore.
yeah,
And there's another faction or whatever you call it, Sisters of something, right?
yeah, yeah. Sisters
That
of
is the female.
Silence.
Okay.
It's not the only one. There's other factions of just women, which is also fine.
So has there always been men in the Sisters of Silence?
No,
Then I'm
and
offended
no
by
one
that.
is, and no one's put. Oh God, this guy. You're offended by
Obviously
it.
I'm not. But I'm saying like that's kind of the mentality here. I could see why people
Yeah.
would be annoyed if there's a faction for the female characters, then what's the difference? Is it a power issue? Like the females just aren't as
It's
powerful
always
as
about
the
power. It's
Okay.
always about power. With the people that want to spread this, it's never about making things objectively better. It's about the power dynamic. Like I want
So
power.
introduce a new character class or faction then that is more powerful women than the Sisters of whatever. Sisters of Silence.
I'll do you
That
one
can
better. I'll do you one better. You can have female custodies, but don't treat people like they're retarded.
well, there's that too, yeah.
That's the problem. Like when people asked what they should have said right? What they should have said is, uh, at at this specific year or something happened 20 or 50 years ago, and then they started recruiting women into the Adeptus Custodes, or instead of just dropping in the female Adeptus Custodes, what they could have done is put in like law notes of the priests going out and grabbing female babies to breed
Yeah,
them or
maybe
turn them into female custodies, and then
true.
everyone would have been cool with this. But when you're
Yeah,
sitting there treating people like idiots when they've put in years and years of their lives into Warhammer and they understand it like the back of their hand, and now you are telling them, you're gaslighting them. No one likes to be gaslit. You are
nope.
gaslighting them. How do you expect them to respond? And that's
Yeah.
how I see it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how many players they'll lose over it, but that's the only way you can send a message. If you're truly upset about it, quit playing the game and see what happens, right? But I don't see, like, once they've done a move like this, they're not going to change it. That's the reality. So either you're walking away from a game you like, generally, if you want to die on that hill, or you keep playing it and they do whatever the heck they want to do. But I can see why people would be upset over it, personally. Especially if you're a big fan of the franchise and then they just shit all over the lore like that. That's not a cool thing to do. But
Yeah. After saying all of that about how they messed up the messaging, I also have to be truthful. And you also have to do the same thing, Mentor. No one's leaving.
I don't like. Well, that's
Let's
kind of
be
what I was getting
honest.
at, right? Yeah, that's what I was getting at, right? If you're willing to die on the hill, then you need to stand by your convictions and walk away from the game. And if enough people do that and the game starts to go into the toilet, then the message is sent. But I have a feeling there's not anywhere near enough people for them to even notice the decline in
Yeah,
players over the issue, right? Because
exactly.
people are, generally speaking, people are kind of spineless. And,
I would say gamers are spineless, not people. I think gamers, as a subset, as a subculture, we are spineless. Because,
well,
like with football, for example, when people are upset, they make things happen.
yeah, yeah,
I'm talking about like comparing fanatics, right? Of
yeah,
of different things. When they're upset, how do they behave? Football fans will actually not buy your tickets. Just
yeah,
ask Man United when things were going really bad after Sir Alex left and the Glazers were just pocketing money. Ask Man United what happened. Suddenly
mhm,
the stadium's half full
yeah,
because the people actually mean what they say and they're willing to cut their arm off to get a reaction. Go to the movies. There's fans of Star Wars, but look at those sales. They're
yeah.
not going, they're not watching it anymore. Ask
No,
Disney
they're
Plus.
losing money.
Yeah, ask Disney Plus how many people are watching Disney Plus right now.
Yeah,
Why? Because those fans respect themselves. Gamers, we don't have any self-respect. So I wouldn't say people are spineless. I would say gamers are spineless. We don't have any
yeah.
discipline, nothing, no self-control. It's just
I
about
mean,
gratification.
yeah, yeah. You're probably not wrong. I mean, different topics. I think there's a lot of things where people in general are spineless. I'm not going to get into that here, but sports fans, I think, are definitely an exception. I'm a hockey fan, like I'm Canadian.
Mhm.
What can I say? But
Like,
I
oh,
don't
I'm
follow.
Brazilian and I watch football. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that was unnecessary. I know. We all know. Anyway, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So for me, it's I can relate to it. One of my favorite teams. I have kind of two favorite teams: the Vancouver Canucks and the Edmonton Oilers. But Canucks, because I lived in that area of the world, they're kind of my number one, and my Oilers are my second favorite. And right now, I'm wearing a Canucks shirt underneath an Edmonton Oilers hoodie. So playoffs start today for them, right? So I'm
Oh
looking
man.
forward to the games tonight. And but with the Canucks, they had a run of I think close to 500 games straight that were sold out, and you couldn't get tickets. But the team was good, and they were Stanley Cup contenders, and things were wonderful. Well, then the team kind of turned into crap, and ticket prices fell, and there was thousands of empty seats at games.
Yep.
Now they're playing well again. This
People are
season,
back.
the people are back, and you see the result of that, right? Because now they've got a product the fans want.
Yes.
I think if gamers were a little bit more like that, you would probably see
Dude,
trends
microtransactions would be
change.
dead. There'd be no
Yeah, yeah,
microtransactions in games.
yeah. I'll say this: like I don't care that much about microtransactions as long as it's not pay to win. Like I think even loot boxes, as long as you're not paying for them and they're just part of the game. Like one of the things with Halo, when Halo was a bit dry, and you were leveling up, and you would finish that battle pass, there was nothing to keep you going, right? And I always thought, like, if they took loot boxes as a concept and still continue to give you a loot box every time you leveled up, and in that loot box, depending, like, I think you'd have a chance at getting something you didn't already have, even if it was just like a common sort of item, but you didn't have it. Well, here's a loot box, open it up, see what you get. And then, every 10 levels, maybe you get something that's a rare item. Every 20 levels, maybe, you get a legendary item chance. Stuff like that, I think, would have kept players engaged because, especially if the animation is really cool when that box opens, because that's the kind of stuff people's brains, it triggers that dopamine release. It's like, okay, here I go, I got my loot box, what's in it, click. And you have that moment of excitement that makes you want to go out and get another one. So I think there's some benefit to player engagement with stuff like that. But at the same time, pay to win, absolutely not. If you can go
Yeah.
buy better gear, I think that has no place in gaming to me. But generally speaking, if the microtransactions aren't affecting that, why do I care if someone wants to buy some cool looking armor for their character, and it's, if they want to blow $15 or $10 on whatever that is, that's their choice. That's fine. If it helps the game continue to have funding to keep expanding and doing more, then I'm okay with it. I'd sooner have that than an upfront price increase.
I'll give you a reason why. Wolverine is coming out, a single player game. They are going to redo the design of the classic yellow and blue outfit, right? But in the base game, you get a whole bunch of outfits except for that classic one. And that outfit costs $20.
Yeah,
You've
insane.
already paid $70 for that game.
Yeah. That's a bit like, to me, okay, I get where you're coming from there.
Why do you care? Just play the game and move on, right? Right?
Yeah. That's a bit predatory. And it's kind of, I can relate to that in Halo. Yeah. Like, all the best looking armor you pay for, right? The stuff that you get in game, all your rewards, it's always kind of scratched up and weathered and doesn't look that great.
Yeah.
But the stuff that you can buy in the store is shiny and glossy and looks pretty.
And
so have I bought some of that stuff? Yes, I have. I'm part of the problem. I admit it. But it was optional. I didn't have to buy it. No one was there with a gun to my head.
But it's still a fucked up practice.
It is. I agree. It is.
And another good example. Imagine Halo. The Halo team wakes up tomorrow and is like, all right, people, we're gonna start offering the Hayabusa armor, but now you have to pay for it, and it's $20.
Yeah.
Like, off the bat, you're going to make millions of sales, but it's still like scummy,
Yeah, I'm not going to argue on that. Like, I don't disagree. I mean, ideally,
It's not pay to win.
there should be a way to earn that in game, even if
There
it's
should
like
be
some kind
no
of a
way to
random
buy
thing.
it, dude. There should be no way to buy it because these games, you assign value because there's merit to it. There's a meritocracy. When you've won, when you wear that outfit, that means you actually did this and this and this and this and this and this and this. You know what I mean? Like the super hard special tasks or whatever to get the Hayabusa armor back in the day. And now it's
Yeah.
just swipe your.
Yeah, no,
That's it.
I get what you're saying. Like I say, I'm of two minds. If my biggest thing I always think of is PvP, obviously, that's where my mind went immediately.
Yeah.
Single player games, I think there's less of a place for it. But at the same time, again, if it keeps the price of the game down because they know they can make some up on microtransactions that are optional. I mean, it's single player. Who's going to see that fancy armor?
big
I
if.
don't care. Yeah,
It's a big
I'm
if,
just
though.
saying. Yeah, no, it is. It is. And like anything, give an inch, take a mile, right? And the next thing you know, it's being
Why?
abused. But again, as gamers, if we say no to it and we are that offended by it, this is where the spineless aspect comes in again, then they're not going to do it. But watch the price increase on the games, right? Next thing you know, you'll have those $100 US games. And then it's up to us to just not buy the game because it's overpriced. But people will still buy it.
We will still buy it.
Yeah. See, like I'm not buying Star Wars Outlaws at all.
Really?
Like I
What
will.
about
I'm not going to buy it.
subscription? What about the subscription on
Nope.
Ubisoft Plus? Because
No, I don't suffer from FOMO, man. Like I'll wait till that game's like $10, and then I'll buy the Game of the Year edition that has everything,
all the
and
DLC
I'll
and
play.
everything.
Yeah, and that's or till it's realistically. My price point for games like that is usually around $30 Canadian, and that's when I start going, okay, now I'll buy it. There's no way I'm spending close to $200 in Canada for that Ultimate Edition, because I know Ubisoft. That game's going to come down in price fast. They always do. Every single one of them. Like I can buy the Ultimate Edition of Odyssey for like $15-20 online for PC. Right? Why would I have spent whatever it was, $130 Canadian back at the time, right?
Yeah.
When I can just buy it for cheap. A couple years later, it's single player. There's no FOMO there. And I think if more people took that attitude, either A, they'd stop making games like it. Eventually someone will fill that gap anyway. You're going to get some kind of a game that's going to take its place because there's competition. Like where there's money to be made, these
Games
companies
like
are going to
Gremlins
figure
gonna
it
do
out. Yeah, someone will come out and do it. But we just got to grow spines and stop paying the price we don't really like. I don't think anybody likes $70 games. Like who likes spending more money for something? Who
Not
likes
me.
paying? Yeah, like in Canada, the cheapest version, and Rach, you might know because you're Canadian, if I recall correctly.
Stop
But I
doxing Richie.
Yeah, I think it's oh, he's mentioned that in chat. But yeah, I think it's around $100, right? Just for the base version. And most of the $70 US game is $90 Canadian. Right? So when PS4 and Xbox One released, we were paying $60 for games, same as the US. They've gone up 50% for us. Yeah, it's a $10 increase in the States, but because of exchange rates and all that crap, it's a 50% increase in Canada. So we've seen huge price increases, even just on consoles in general. That's why I'm so dead set against the $600 US console, in like at least in today's sort of version of a console. It's the walled garden mentality. Because in Canada, that's $750, $800 or more. And they're just kind of, people don't consider that, like with the US focus on everything as a centralized currency. It affects. Yeah, no, like look at what Brazilians pay for stuff, right? It's insane. And even Australians
Or
as well.
Mozambicans, dude. Each one of these cost $1,000 US.
Yeah.
I paid $1,000 for my Series X and $1,000 for my PS5.
Yeah. See, that's just I don't
and
know.
that's the price. You know, it's not like
Yeah,
someone like I tried to get it nefariously, or that's just the price.
yeah,
So I see people
blows.
bitching, $500, that's too expensive. I'm like, dude, if I can get me someone to ship me the next Xbox for exactly the amount of money that it costs in the US, I'm doing it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm doing it. $500 is very cheap for me.
yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to the topics. Stellar Blade
Sure.
fans asked to go easy on its demo, which is almost as popular as Final Fantasy VII
Almost twice
Rebirths.
as popular. You missed a key word there.
Oh damn,
Almost
almost
twice as
twice.
popular.
My bad. Almost twice as popular as Final Fantasy VII Rebirths. A demo for the PS5 exclusive launched last month ahead of the game's release on April 26th. Here's the quote: "We're so grateful for your love of our game." Uh huh. Lots of love. Lots of love right here. Anyways, to enjoy to enjoy the main game properly, please go easy on the demo. 50 plus hours of demo play. We're scared. According to the market research from
Wow.
Ampere Analysis, the demo has been popular, attracting a peak of 690,000
It's
daily
crazy.
active users.
Wow.
Daily active, not total, not total, daily active users. People are thirsty. In comparison, the demo for fellow PS5 exclusive Final Fantasy Rebirth drew a peak of 380,000. Damn. Square
Wow.
Enix's game went on to attract about 2.2 million daily active users when it was released. Another quote: "The hype surrounding Stellar Blade, largely focused on its character models, may have resulted in inflated interest in the demo, and the rate of conversion to paying launch users could fall short of what we've seen for its competitors," said Louis Woolbridge. I think Louis is coping hard. Despite some similarities in genre, style, and therefore potential audience, Stellar Blade and Final Fantasy Rebirth represent quite different commercial cases. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is based on an established classic with a deep rooted fandom, plus, it is a sequel rather than a standalone game. It is therefore unlikely that quite as many demo players were drawn simply by curiosity or hype, and conversion in that case is likely to be more predictable and hearty. Stellar Blade, on the other hand, is a brand new IP with no pre existing fandom, making its performance a great deal more difficult to project. Mental, do you agree with Louis here?
I think Stellar Blade is going to sell very well. And
Yeah.
even if it's a lot of people buying it to send a message, you know, man, I think I'm gonna pre-order it now, just
You were
because.
going to.
You know, I mean, I had fun playing the demo. It's a fun game. Like I don't get FOMO, like I say repeatedly, but
Yeah.
um, I'll buy it eventually, for sure. Will I pre-order it? Well, probably not. But um, I don't typically buy games at launch. But this one actually, I kind of want to, just because of the press it's received. I find it so ridiculous. A lot of this stuff is just so ridiculous. So, but that's crazy.
Web traffic dropped by 50% in all spicy sites
Corn sites.
since the
Yeah,
release of Stellar Blade.
that's one of the funniest things that you always see the corn site activity on PlayStation 5s. It'd be interesting to see the graph, see if it actually did decline and Stellar Blade playtime went up. That would be kind of funny if there was an actual correlation there. But it's like you say, people are thirsty for good looking protagonist, I think, on the female side of things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be playing it day one.
That's what I find so bizarre with the whole
What?
Hades thing and the controversy and the hypocrisy is it's okay for some reason to be all hyped on that game, but it's not okay to be hyped on this one when this is based after a real life person. I don't get that. It's like we said earlier, like what if she was doing just talking on Twitch? You know, then it would be okay for her to be
Yes.
looking all beautiful and hot or whatever and draw big crowds. But in a game like this where her likeness is used, it's not okay. I don't understand that. It's such a bizarre concept to me. But
Let's look at let's look at the article. Let me open this article. I think it's worth not just how can I put it? Not just saying that pointing out the hypocrisy. I think it's important to put it up. No, stop at the pop-ups. In less than 3 hours, Hades 2's new and returning characters have already put the entire fandom in horny jail. Dustin Bailey's having a good time, says abs. Where was this energy for Stellar Blade? Where was it?
non-existent, right? For some reason it was, you know, if you expressed any interest in the character, you were kind of ridiculed, right? It's so weird.
As ever, the cast and character art got some special attention from fans. Fans are now down very bad. It started early when we got a look at Hecate, witch of Crossroads, who's clad head to toe in flowing robes, save for an exposed midriff, showcasing the kind of abs you could grate cheese on. Listen to the language being used here, Mentor. Huh?
I'm hearing it.
The fact that Hecate is voiced by Amelia Tyler, best known as the narrator in Baldur's Gate, is just icing on the cake. Wow, dude. Just wow. Someone is really having fun with this.
Yeah.
Hecate, the woman you are. Supergiant is currently showing some gameplay on Twitch, and please look at Hacket's character design. They know so well who's their target audience. This is suddenly beautiful.
But Shift Up doesn't?
Shift Up is completely oblivious.
Yeah, they're out to lunch, right? They don't get it,
Yeah.
I guess. But these
No,
guys,
no.
okay. I get where this
They're
comes
out
from.
of touch. Shift Up is out of touch. They're regressive
Yeah.
and all these other bad things.
Hmm.
Let's carry on the article. But hey,
Absolutely.
the Thirst Fest didn't stop there. Listen to the enthusiasm. Listen to
Oh
the
man,
enthusiasm.
I know. It's
Jeez. Odysseus has gotten people to understand why Penelope waited for him for 20 years. Poseidon's redesign has elicited cries of, oh God, they made him hotter. And really, just about the entire cast is grabbing some emotion ranging from respectful admiration to full-on awoogas from the peanut gallery. I'm
assuming those
by this.
blanks are supposed to be images, I guess, or
Oh yeah, it's the whole Twitter thing.
see more. Oh, I guess it's.
Do you want to see the pictures?
Well, I'm just wondering. I mean, I haven't looked at this really at all, but I'm just curious as to what they're actually.
Okay,
referencing.
There you go.
Okay.
There we go. So these are the abs. These are the abs that you can grate cheese on.
Interesting.
This is sexy.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
This is acceptable.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
This
is it because?
Man. This is say it. You know you want to say it, especially with this design. You know you want to say it.
Yeah, I'm just
Uh,
I don't know what to say. Actually, I
yeah,
literally don't know what to say as to why this is wonderful and good and the other's not. I don't know. Hypocrisy. That's the only word that comes to mind
yeah.
to
Let's look at the other
describe an
one.
article like this. Like, did this guy write anything about Stellar Blade?
Stellar Blade. I don't know.
Yeah, like maybe this
I
person's not part of the hypocrisy of it all. Maybe, that person that wrote this wrote similar things about Stellar Blade, but something tells me he probably didn't.
probably didn't.
Yeah.
Probably was completely okay with sorry, completely against whatever Stellar Blade was doing, and now just openly telling everyone this is okay, this is fine. Oh yeah, this was Zeus in the first one. This is the second one. Look at it, and look at the comment. They covered up father. Huh? Mental. They covered up father. This is
Oh
fine.
my.
1.6 thousand likes. This is fine. All right.
Yeah, it's so weird. So weird. Yeah.
That's enough of that. Y'all can go ahead and sit in your hypocrisy. I ain't got
Did
time
you
for
play
it.
Hades
Yes, I did.
originally? Did you?
Fantastic game.
It's
And
is it
it's
what
not just
style of game is it?
objectively. It's a roguelike. And
Okay.
it's not
What's the
just
perspective? Is it like third person or
top down. Top
oh
down.
top
But
down?
it
Okay.
works very well. Actually, let me try and open up some gameplay here. Ages gameplay. It's very nice. I enjoyed the crap out of it. I'm just not, I'm looking forward to this game. That's the thing. It's not like I've got a problem with Hades. I just have a problem with you not being fair on your analysis. So this is the gameplay.
Yeah.
It's a very good game, and you know why I think it's like objectively a great game, not just good, a great game, is because I don't play these types of games. It's not my thing.
Yeah, me neither. Does it play kind of like Diablo?
Yes, not it doesn't automatically like attack, but it does play nah, no, it doesn't play like Diablo. I'd be lying. It doesn't play like Diablo.
Okay. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
the
typically a
perspective is
top
similar.
down. Yeah, but
The
that's what it
perspective is
reminds me
similar.
of looking at it. It reminds me of
Yeah.
Diablo. So, not typically my kind of game, but I've enjoyed them in the past. Like I enjoyed Diablo 3. I've started Diablo 4 just because it was in Game Pass, but I haven't got very far into it. Maybe an hour.
This game is awesome, dude. I promise you. The way the level up system works, like per run, it's just
I
chef's
think I
kiss, man.
own it.
You should
It's
play
sad that
it.
I have to say I think I do, but it's probably part of my backlog of shame.
The
Yeah.
Hades video game was popular thanks to the date sim mechanics. The same is happening in all franchises. Gamers are thirsty, and this is why Avowed will lose. Ah, man. I wish I gave a crap about this dating sim stuff. When Avowed comes out, I'm no lifing it, and I don't care if there's dating sim stuff in it or not. Like zero F's given. It's popular
Yeah.
to thirst shame the normies, and maybe that's what pisses them off. The fact that we say we are the normies, like our thirst is normal. I can see how that can piss them off. Mental.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see how that
That's
can piss them off.
Yeah, like I heard there was. I listened to Alex's video about this stuff yesterday while I was working in my garage and wasn't watching the video. It was just on. I had my earbuds in and I was just working on some stuff. But there's apparently one character that's disabled. I guess has missing a leg or something, and people were all happy about that too. And I don't know.
They're happy that someone is. Wait, wait, wait,
Well,
wait. Are they
they thought he
thirsty?
was,
Are they
yeah, thirsty.
thirsty
Yeah, for
because
this.
he doesn't have a leg?
I'm not sure. Like, apparently, I think Alex was saying he was overweight and stuff, and it's part of the lore and this and that. And I find that kind of, no big deal, whatever you're into, first and foremost. But to go out of your way to mention it, I think is kind of strange too, when something like Stellar Blade is so frowned upon. But that's okay. You can tell people how crazed you are over a character like that, but normies can't mention something they're crazed about. It's just
I
weird. Yeah,
missed. I missed this
I own
video on
Hades,
Friday.
oddly enough. I have it
Right.
on the
Now you know
Epic
you
Game
have to
Store. That
go
might have
play
been
it.
it might have been a freebie or something from Epic,
Yeah,
but I do have it in my library.
you should play it. You should play it. Great game. Also, I missed Alex's video this week. It's been a hectic week
Oh,
at work.
yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
It's,
I think I'm gonna have to go watch that. Uh, Thirsty because he's crippled. That's a new one.
well, I don't know that I didn't get the impression it was just because of that, but they were thirsty over the character, and Alex was kind of listing off the traits of the character and just,
Yeah.
commenting on that aspect of it. But if you find his video, you could probably scroll through and quickly identify what I'm talking about based on what he was saying anyway. I think he was fairly descriptive, but
Okay. I guess we're going to watch On with Alex right now because what is this stuff about a cripple? What? Hold on.
yeah, there's I guess character that's part of the mythology. Fell or something. If I'm trying to remember, like he got thrown off of something or whatever, and yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, boy. I sure do love the smell of hypocrisy in the morning, don't y'all? Look,
He didn't slap his thighs. This is a mid Alex video.
Mid video, he wasn't
Usually he
thigh
has to slap
slapping.
his thighs or his butt. One of the two. That's how we start the videos. This is gonna be mid. I'm
Look, I
not
know I
impressed.
said
At
y'all, I'm
best.
from the South. That's just how it goes down here. But do y'all remember a couple of weeks back how every games journalist was basically lambasting and poo-pooing all over the main character of Stellar Blade, saying how she's a specific object, or
We
she
remember.
regresses women back X amount of years, or all these
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
horrible things and articles about calling either gamers who like that kind of character model
Oh,
all
man.
kinds of words like incels and pejoratives and things like that. Remember that a couple of weeks back? I sure do. I made a couple of videos about it. In fact, it's fresh in the top of my mind. However, though, something came out the other day that really is going to show the
other
actual
day.
hypocrisy of the games journalists and games media, or even just gamers themselves. Well, those who pretend to be gamers, let's be real. And the big reason why I'm talking about Stellar Blade is because the other day, a little game called Hades 2 released its playtest yesterday via invite only. And it turns out, well, exactly what I said. The hypocrisy of the gaming media is in full display, because not only are the people who are involved in the playtest enjoying the game, they are also basically what you would be considered to be in horny jail over the characters of Hades 2. This isn't the first time it actually happened, though, because during Hades 1 development, and also even during the game coming out through its early access phase, many articles are written about all the characters that everybody wanted to bone and be with in the first Hades game. So now we have
Well, no hate there. I mean, the characters in Hades are pretty attractive. Like, you look at most of them, it's 0% fat. So that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we can agree that fat is an indicator for attractiveness. Generally. Not for everyone, it's not universal.
Not
but
for everybody, yeah.
But generally, 9 out of 10 times, the amount of body fat you have does affect your attractiveness level. All right.
Yep.
Again with Hades
Yep.
2. Yet for some reason, it's okay when Hades does it, but it's not okay when Stellar Blade does it. I really wonder what the difference is. Truly, it's nothing in my opinion. And honestly, I would hope that at least gaming journalists would sort of keep that same energy, wouldn't you? Because if you were pom-pawing yourself about how great you were as an ally, and were saying how horrible it is that Stellar Blade 2 is by its caricature of women, then I'm sure you would do the same exact thing for Hades, right? Right? Let's go ahead and expose some people, shall we? Get
No, I'm sorry.
caricature of
I'm sorry.
women,
This guy is
then I'm
funny.
sure you would do the
This guy is
same
very
exact thing for
funny.
Hades, right?
Zooms in.
Right? Let's go ahead and expose some people,
Oh,
shall we?
fuck.
Games Radar Hades 2 trailer has fans.
Wait, is this the same
predictably
article that we're looking at? This Games Radar. Which article? Oh no, we're looking at GameSpot. Sorry.
horny.
Sorry.
Yep. There it is. But let's keep going with Games Radar, though, because they had another actual
this is the
banger
one.
that was published 18 hours ago in less than 3.
Really?
Yeah, that's the one that you had
this
up, I
Games
think.
No, this
Yeah,
is
because
GameSpot.
abs. Yeah. Okay, they published the same article then, because it starts out the same thing saying abs.
Really? Oh no! It is GameSpot. My bad. It is GameSpot. My bad. It definitely was GameSpot.
Okay.
3 hours, Hades 2 new and returning characters have already put the entire fandom in horny jail. Yeah, we went from the trailer getting everybody horny to now in less than 3 hours is already NSFW artwork of all the characters that were previous and in the new game as well for Hades 2. Yet this, for some reason, is celebrated while Stellar Blade was not. I really wonder what the actual issue is. And honestly, you know what I think it is? It's very simple. It's called safe horny. Yeah.
What?
We're going to talk about that in a second, but let's keep going, shall we? Oh, look, it's our own personal favorite Kotaku pointing out an article back in 2022 saying everyone's hot as hell in Hades 2, as they should be. Kotaku, of all people, happy about all the hot characters in Hades 2, but really angry about Stellar Blade's hot character. I wonder what the issue is.
So what's the difference? I'm
and
still
of course,
lost
here is
here.
someone from The Gamer saying Hades 2 needs to be gayer than ever.
Oh,
It needs to be gayer than ever. Yes. Make it even more gay. Even if, you didn't realize that the whole point of Hades is that it's set in the Greek timeline and everybody was gay already. And everybody was there for a good time, not a long.
I'm sorry. Like I played Hades, the first one. Maybe it's because I wasn't looking for it, I guess. But I didn't get the gay. I didn't get any gay vibes from Hades 1. I'm not gonna ask you, Mental, because you haven't played it. But
Haven't
I'm
played
just
it
saying, me personally, I didn't get it. But okay.
Time, but instead, this is what you'd rather have, right? Great opinion piece, by the way, The Gamer. Great job on the clickbait, just as bad as Kotaku. And then The Gamer, again, with Hades 2 is already fixing the first game's biggest problem.
What was the problem?
I'm already impressed with Supergiant's commitment to improving body diversity in the Hades 2 technical test.
Oh. So this guy is supposed to be one of the gods.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
And then VG247 with this actual banger. Somehow Hades 2, the new characters art has left fans even hornier than the first game, and you can't really blame them. And honestly, this kind of hypocrisy is really what angers me the most. You see, in my opinion, like I said before, we are here as a human species for a good time, not a long time. And honestly, playing a video game, even if it is for just a few minutes a day or even a couple of hours a day, and looking at something attractive is not a bad thing.
That's kind of the point, right? Mental. Why would I pay for the pleasure to look at something that displeases my eyes?
I can't argue with that, right? Like, what's wrong with having characters that are appealing in that respect? I don't think there is anything wrong with it. I mean, maybe not every single character needs to be that way, obviously, but I don't see anything wrong with it.
And even if they are, why is that a problem?
exactly.
You know, even if
Mhm.
they are, why is that a problem? It goes back to the whole race thing where it's like, dude, I can watch Black Panther and see zero white people, and that's not a problem for me. And
Yeah, me neither.
if 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 I see a remake of Troy and there's zero black people, I'm not offended, right? And then
Yeah,
if I see a recreation of of a of a Chinese mythological being or time, and there's no black people as well, I'm also not offended. So hey, Yobi's
you and
here.
me both, man. Like it's I personally I don't think I've ever really noticed, right? Like to
Yeah,
be honest, I
yeah.
don't think I've ever really noticed until recently when there's so much attention put on it that now I'm like, oh yeah, no, I didn't notice that before. But and I, what can I say? I don't know. It's like creating a controversy where there probably just doesn't need to be one.
There wasn't one in the first place. You were
Yeah,
making it
it's
controversial. You were making it
exactly,
problematic. Peace, love,
exactly.
life. Welcome in, Yobi.
Having a character like the one from Stellar Blade, Eve, the way she looks, is not a bad thing, especially being modeled after a real, actual live
Sorry, I
model,
just
a
wanted to
real
pause that
person.
for
But
two
then turning
seconds.
around and then using your place
I
of
see
power and
that.
position to basically talk down to anyone who finds that character attractive really is the worst thing about all of this. And have those same websites and those same people put out article after article about how horny they are over the characters of Hades 2 is even more insane, because not only are the characters of Hades 2 not real and they're just drawn, they're not even made after actual people. So what is even going on here? I said before,
It's kink shaming. Like we're not allowed to have our own preference anymore. That's not okay.
Yeah, yeah.
and I'll say it again. It's what's called safe horny, or really yucking on someone's yum. Basically, what happens is on the internet, apparently, it is perfectly okay to crap on somebody if they want to find a woman attractive, if they're just a regular guy or anything like that, or even a girl could find Eve from Celebrate attractive. We've seen that happen before. Surprise, lesbians actually exist. Who knew? But then it's easy and fun to go ahead and make fun of those people and call them incels or call them virgins or say they never actually met a woman or make all kinds of fun of them and then do all these kinds of things, but then turn right around. And then the second you see any character from Hades 2, you're going ahead and nutting all over yourself in excitement about the way this character looks
Oh,
and the way it's
okay.
drawn. And really,
That's
that's
a
a major
graphic I
issue that
didn't
I
need to
have with
see.
all of this. You're
Wow.
going to be okay and going to be happy with the way the Hades 2
This guy is
character
always
looks,
extra.
and you're going to actually sit there and bark and woof and awoo all over the internet because of the way these characters are drawn, then it's perfectly okay to let somebody else bark a woof and a woo and act like a bunch of dogs for Eve's character in Stellar Blade. There really is no difference in the behavior. You're both acting like actual horny dogs. There's really no difference between the both of them. The thing is, you find it socially
Not wrong.
acceptable to make fun of the other people. Well, anybody that makes fun of you, you're just going to be like, "Oh no, it's okay. I'm part of the gaming media," or "I'm going to make an article saying that it's perfectly fine," or "I'm going to go ahead and be on Twitter and have all of my brony friends like my tweet. Therefore, more likes I get, the more right I am. Therefore, you're wrong." Haha. We had the same exact thing happen with Lady Dimitrescu back when everybody was locked inside of their homes.
Oh my
Everybody was
goodness.
super horny for her. There were people that were, there were people that weren't. But you couldn't go
Oof.
around
Did you
Oh,
play that
okay.
on
game?
Twitter.
Um
Did you play Village?
I played it. I didn't finish, but I did play it. I
Huh.
did play it. I can
Okay.
just say she's the hottest zombie I've ever seen in my life. That's what I will say. But going back to the whole preference thing, and this is like a personal story that I want to share. Um, no pressure. You don't have to do the same, but I just feel like I have to share this one. Um, when I was in university, I met this girl, a black girl in South Africa, and I was attracted to her, and I tried to hook up with her, and she told me straight up, like, dude, I only hook up with white dudes. I only like white dudes.
Huh.
And I was very heated about it. Called her racist and all this other stuff. Very upset. But because we lived in the same neighborhood, eventually we ran into each other again. And she purposefully like uh tried to have a conversation with me, like, yo, sit down, we need to have a chat. And I was like, okay, fine, whatever, let's chat. And she broke down preference, the difference between preference and racism to me. And that's when it kind of like the one and the two got together, and and it made sense, and it made the three, that people are allowed to like what they like and dislike what they dislike. It's
Right.
not about you. And only a narcissist, only someone with a real problem, right, with everyone else living their lives, not treating them like they're the son of the universe, only that person is going to struggle with that concept. But the rest of us normal people, we understand that there's a woman that's going to look at mental, see that shining head of his, and that turns her the hell on, you know? And that's what
It's
does
hard
it
to
for her.
imagine, but okay.
That's what preference is about. Dude, that's what preference is
Yeah.
about. There are tall women who are only attracted to shorter dudes, to dudes that are shorter than them. Those exist, and the opposite as well.
Yep. No, you're 100%.
So with this whole kink shaming thing, it's like, dude, what's your problem? Why don't you let people like what they like? If the majority of people look at Stella Blade and are like, let's go, that's not a you problem. Why is that a problem to you? Why is
Yeah,
that
it doesn't make
problematic?
sense.
And I remember one of the articles said that, oh, Stella Blade is going to is going to make men um, gravitate towards this specific body type and only want this in their life. Dude, why does this bother you? You either go to
Exactly.
the gym, you either go to the gym as a woman, right? If that's what the world turns into, you either go to the gym, get your shit together, or accept that you're going to have less options. Because with guys, the opposite is also true. Most women don't want a broke dude.
Yeah. No, that's
No
very
one
true.
sits here, no one sits there and says, oh, women need to be more inclusive towards broke dudes. No one says this. They just
Yep.
say, bro, mental, get a job, bro. Get it together, man.
Yep.
Gyms, gyms, gyms are open, ladies. Do your thing. She united the whole gaming community like we were her children. Yes, Lady Dimitres is special. The creator of Sailor Moon told her type of guy was someone miserable. Really? Again, preference. That's fine. That's fine. But let's get back to the video. Let's get back to the video.
15 seconds without finding a picture of her with somebody calling her mommy. And look, this is coming from a guy who loves Rhea Ripley.
Oh. Do you watch wrestling, Mental? I'm sorry for pausing all the time. Do you watch wrestling?
I do not.
Do you know who Jade Cargill is?
No.
And we are derailed again on the show because Alex
And it's
brought
all
up
my
a
fault.
female. Alex brought up a female wrestler. So Rhea Ripley is not for me. So I'm gonna have to bring up I'm gonna have to bring up my preference. Where is it? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Jade Cargill.
So, yeah, like I get it. And, no, she's a good looking woman
Fit
for sure.
as hell.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to Alex's video. Whew.
Calm down, Luke. Calm down.
I'm trying. Why is Alex doing this? Anyway.
I want her to put me in the Amazon position.
Yo! Wait, let's go back.
Somebody calling her mom.
What?
And look, this is coming from a
the
guy
Amazon
who loves
position?
Rhea Ripley. I think she's absolutely beautiful. I want her to put me in the Amazon position. I love muscle mommies. I love Futanari. What's the difference between that and liking Eve from Stellar Blade?
Wow.
There really isn't one. The difference is that people are going ahead and trying to take a political slant on things, and because it doesn't fit your horny catalog checklist, therefore it is a bad thing. But the moment it fits your checklist of what you find attractive,
Now it's a good
perfectly
thing.
fine and acceptable. And you can make fun of other people, but nobody can make fun of you. And if you think I'm just making things up, just type Hades 2 in the search bar of Twitter. You'll see. Here's Cade Green right there. Daddy, I mean Hephaestus from Hades 2 is so fucking hot. And it's just a fat guy
That's
without a missing leg. Yeah, he's so hot. 2,000 views, 120 likes. This is how
I just got
that's the
done
one I was
talking.
talking about.
Okay. I just got done talking about preference. So
Yeah.
I guess I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to judge. That is not what I'm about to do.
how we're gonna do it. I get safe horny, like I said before. Here is Aquila saying the new god portraits in Hades 2 are so tasty. And of course, they're showing all the portraits for the gods in Hades 2, and it's got 2.5 million views and 52,000 likes. There's nothing wrong with liking these characters. What I find interesting is that there's so many people willing to see this tweet, agree with it, say it's perfectly fine, but that you can totally go back into any of those tweets from anybody else who likes this one and say, hey, why did you not like Stellar Blade's characters, but you're okay fawning for this one? You see how that works? Here's another one from Lee. Hades 2 technical test has got me screaming in my room at 1 a.m. And then they post these two pictures of these two characters with 33,000 views and 2,000 likes. Imagine if anybody did this about Eve from Stellar Blade. What do you think would have happened to them? They would have been chastised, ridiculed, and made fun of the entire time all over Twitter and the internet. Why is it okay?
That's not true, though. I've posted stuff on Eve, and no one chastised me on Twitter.
What did you say in your posts?
I don't know, something to the effect that she's hot as hell, and I'm cool with it, and I can't wait to play the game.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, maybe you didn't get enough traction on it or something that you didn't get flamed. But I mean, I saw posts where people were getting ridiculed, like he's saying,
just because they liked it.
Yeah, like, you know, oh, she looks like she's 12. Those types of things, right? But yeah, I don't know. I tend to stay out of those threads, if you will. But
yeah, it can get dicey. It can get dicey.
Yeah,
really quick.
Yeah, it gets. Plus, my daughter follows me on Twitter, so it would be weird.
Oh, that is fun.
Yeah,
that is very fun.
Yeah.
Okay for this, but not okay for
Locust
that.
Captain.
Truck says
Ham Solo.
Ham's in here.
Locust Captain. I don't know what you guys are talking about, but I'm sure Locust Captain.
He doesn't even know what we're talking about. Oh goodness.
No, I gotta show that I'm about to be on Matt's spoiler cast, and I seen that you guys were live and figured I would come harass a little bit.
Get your shots in and then leave.
No Diddy.
No Diddy. No Diddy. We're just talking about we're talking about the hypocrisy of everyone being okay. Well, not everyone, but the gaming journalists being okay with Hades' characters being sexy, but they're not okay with Stellar Blade's character being sexy.
Oh, yeah. Yam Solo. Thanks, G. Maybe I appreciate it.
Yam Solo.
Just the right time.
I'm in the DLC, okay? But
oh my!
I got them. I got them. 1940 NBA shorts on for you. All right. But
Short shorts.
The really
The
short ones.
shorts. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I played
Let's
for
go.
the Minneapolis Lakers. So,
Okay.
but
He has taste. He has taste. That's what matters. Right?
but anyways, yeah. I mean, that obviously it's stupid. I mean, I I think the problem for a lot of people is just like the realisticness of the character that is in Stellar Blade and how realistic
Art style.
things look compared to kind of the cartoony look to Hades that
Hades.
nobody could really take too serious. And it's like, and you know, people are
Yeah.
really creepy people are okay with being creepy when it comes to like anime, which is
Yes.
awfully weird. I mean, like, yeah, it's mad weird, but at the same time, then you have somebody that's clearly like a model and they were put into the game and given a little extra oomph on it, and
Uh-huh.
it's a real person, and the person is of like legal age, I believe. I don't think it's
31.
yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's insane that people are like, I mean, I wouldn't do it because it's like, I mean, I got a wife and I kind of am okay with living in reality, but like some people like to be, you know, a little promiscuous digitally. So if they want to do that, by all means, let me move out the way. I don't think it should
Enjoy
be
Yeah.
yourself.
done. Like you pay the money for the game, enjoy it how you want to.
Yeah.
Now, the whole Tifa stuff was kind of weird because she's, you know, a high schooler for Final
Oh.
Fantasy.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
so like
Okay.
that I can understand, like people not being happy with that because you don't want to be, you know, showing off all this skin on a character that ain't even like of legal age and stuff like that. Like
Right.
that's promoting creepiness, right? That's literally saying, hey, we're okay with you looking at that ass of this little Lizzie McGuire looking character right here. Like that's
How old
like
it?
that's what's that?
How old is she in the game? Like, what's the age?
Like all the characters are supposedly like high school age.
Yeah. I think
That's a
she's like
fairly
16 or
broad
something.
range, but yeah, I
Yeah,
was
like
just curious because
16 or something like that. I mean,
16.
just
Okay.
I feel like
Barely.
18 ain't good enough. like if you're a
Yeah.
real
No.
adult, 18 ain't good enough. I'm sorry. I mean, sure it's
No.
legally okay, but it's just like,
Yeah.
man, I can't even take you to the bar, bruh. Like, nah.
Yeah. No.
I'm all set.
I totally agree with you. I think the province I used to live in, 16 was considered legal, which was up from 14 not that long ago, which is kind of crazy.
That's
But
nuts.
I'm not sure the province I'm in. I think it's still 16 here too, which to me is just like, okay, that's still super
Okay,
super
Tifa's
creepy.
20. Tifa's 20, according to this website that I'm looking at right now. Hold on.
So
Let me
just
let me share
as
it
an
real-
aside, like I always look at half your age plus 7.
Right.
So like if you're 30, that would be like half your age, 15 plus 7, 22 is okay. Right? That's kind of the way I always, it's a weird formula, but I heard that a
half your
long time
age
ago.
plus
7. Yeah, plus
Interesting.
7 years, and it's kind of an acceptable age for you. Whether or not people agree with that, I don't
Dude,
know, but
Look at
it
this.
kind of makes sense.
Barrett and Tifa are tight as hell. He's 35 and she's 20. I'm uncomfortable in that age gap.
Yeah, that definitely breaks the half your age plus 7.
I'm
Definitely
uncomfortable
breaks
with
that.
that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just like I mean, and I'm just thinking of this like, you know, like I said, appropriateness, right? So
Yeah.
if I'm in my mid 30s and I'm dating a freshman in college, sure it's legal, but when I go out and sit and eat somewhere, I might be looked at as the dad. And
bit of a
if you're looked
creep.
at as the dad, it's not good.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little creepy. I actually, it's funny you mentioned that. I dated someone that
What you
was
about to
only,
admit?
no. She was 3 years younger than me, or 2 years younger than me. and
Okay.
but she looked a lot younger than me,
I was
and
saying this is about to turn
she was
into a membership show real quick.
yeah. No, she was a small person, right? Like I was, I'm 6'1", she was 5'2",
I would
so
have
I'm
never
almost a
thought you
foot
were 6'1".
or 5'1". Oh, why? You thought I was
For
shorter?
Yeah, I honestly did.
Oh yeah, no, I'm 6'1", about 200 pounds. So I'm a
well,
fairly well-built
mental.
individual, but yeah.
He's like, I'm a goddamn man.
Yeah, no, I am. I mean, like it's rare that I'm not like one of the tallest people in the room. But
Wow.
anyway, it's kind of like that relationship. I guess she was probably closer to 5'1", and she weighed about 100 pounds. Like she was a small person. And for me, it just felt awkward to be out with her because I was so much bigger than her. It felt weird, I guess,
No, I
in
get
some
that.
respects. I ended up setting her up with one of my friends to some extent. I pushed one of my friends to, hey, you should go out with her. And after I broke up, of course, but he's like 5'9", and they ended up getting married.
What?
So yeah, they ended up getting
That's
married. They've been
considerate.
married 6 months less than my wife and I have, and but yeah, long time. So
That's
kind of
nice.
funny, but so we are still in touch to this day because he's my longest term friend. He and I have been friends since we were about 8 years old. So
Wow.
long time. But yeah.
Awesome,
Anyway,
man. That's
I
awesome.
can relate. Like even though she was just a bit younger than me, it felt really just awkward because I was so much bigger than her, and
So size
twice her
does
weight.
matter then.
Well, it kind of does, yeah. I think like it felt strange because I put my arm around her and she's like a foot below me. It was like I felt like I was dating someone that was age inappropriate almost, just because she was so small compared to me.
That,
It's kind of a
again,
weird scenario,
again,
but
mental. That's not very inclusive of you. I'm just saying.
I know. And now
You're
my wife,
losing.
my wife is like just under 5'11", so
Ah,
Did you see
she's
that person? Oh, I'm sorry.
sorry, what?
No, I was going to ask a question. I didn't know you weren't finished. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying like my wife she's a couple inches shorter than me. She's just like she's 5'10" and a half, almost, it's very different. And they were
and that
friends
works
too.
for you.
So yeah, yeah. Why you don't like tall women? You don't like tall women, love?
Gee, who, me? No. My wife's
Yeah.
also almost the same height as me. I'm
Okay.
more or less your height,
Uh-huh.
and my wife is
Are you more or less my height? No, I'm just kidding.
slightly less, I think.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think. I think
Close
slightly
enough.
less.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Depending on the day, you know.
Yeah. My wife is considered tall compared to other women, as like
Right.
in general, but to me, I kind of look a little lower. And yeah, G
Yeah.
maybe says putting her in a headlock each time you will win for a hug. It's a
Yeah.
rough life.
Yeah.
It's a rough life.
Yeah, it's
Loke's
it
nickname in
was
his
weird.
household is Shorty to his wife.
Yeah.
No,
We
no, no, I
well,
don't
my
do
wife
that.
my
I don't
wife and
do.
I, we go like the other girl, she was Italian, right? So all of her whole family was pretty short. And we'd go to barbecues at their house, like we were friends of the family, so they'd have family barbecues and we'd always get invited. And my wife and I remember like taking turns walking through the crowd of people just because we thought it was funny to see how much taller we were than everybody that was there. It was kind of
Wow,
humorous, but
toxic tall people.
yeah, like the tallest men in that family were around 5'6", and you know fair bit shorter, so it was kind of funny
I'm
to
about
us.
to
Toxic.
I'm about to hop up out of here, but I just wanted to ask you guys before I leave. Um, Within this conversation, have you guys brought up the fact that somebody on Twitter was talking about like some famous girl that was like 21 and saying, if y'all are looking at this, yeah, she looks like a child, and y'all should think of yourself as like pedophilic or something like that.
What? No,
We did
I don't
discuss
know of
this
what
on
you
previous
speak.
episodes. Remember, Mentor? There was this dude who was in New York giving the mic to random chicks, and making them answer that question when looking at the Stellar Blade character.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
did
I
discuss
remember
this
that.
previously.
Yeah, the
And my
Xbox
response to
fanboy
that,
Karim.
my response to that, Ham, is simple. People that take care of themselves don't look as old. This is very much a you problem, my sister. You do not take care of yourself, you look like an old hag. That's a
Here, I'll put
you
it on the
problem.
screen real quick.
That's a you problem. That's not a we problem. Right?
This right here.
You don't eat well. You don't sleep enough.
Oh, Jenna Ortega. That's hilarious. My son is totally in love with her. He's 11. She's a bit
How
out of
old
his
is she?
league, but I think Ham, you said she was 21? Ham?
Oh, she
What's
is
that?
21.
She's 21? Okay, yeah, it says
Yeah.
right there. She's 21. Okay.
Again, dude. Like I've seen 22-year-olds that look run down because of their
Yeah.
lifestyle. So my response is the same, Ham. This is a you problem. You don't take care of yourself, you're paying the price right now. Don't make this an us problem. This is a you problem. That's all I have to say about that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get up out of here, you guys. I gotta go to the
All right.
to the show
All right,
that
man.
I'm supposed to be on. But y'all have a good rest of the day. Keep doing your thing. Peace out.
Hey,
Cheers, bro.
peace, man. Thanks for hopping in.
All right, so let's try and power through this video.
Yeah, a few more minutes.
New Hades 2 content is just dinner for bisexuals, and they post pictures of the game itself with almost 200,000 views and 8,000 likes. I could take them both. Just straight up all over Twitter. I can take them both. Not a big deal. And then just emojis of like, oh yes, I was not ready. Look, again, there's nothing wrong with enjoying characters and games and characters in games who you find attractive. Nothing wrong with that at all. What I find completely hypocritical, though, is the fact that not a couple of weeks ago, everybody thought Eve was attractive and they were made fun of. That's where I have the issue on this.
Okay.
Atelier Asu tweeted this out, actually, saying, seeing the new Hades 2 designs got me too insane, to be honest. And he says, in conclusion, I'm bi. Now, look, it's not like I'm going to go through Twitter search history and type your screen name and then type Stellar Blade and then really just see tweets of you crapping all over Stellar Blade's.
Oh no, that's what he's
Yeah,
about
you know
to
what's
do.
coming.
That's what he's about to do. Oh, this guy is savage.
Yeah.
Savage.
Caught
All
in
right.
4K.
Design, right? I mean, you'd behave the exact same way for her as if you would for this, right? Right? Well, in fact, I did just that. Let's take a look together, shall we? Maybe I should actually try the Stellar Blade demo so I actually get to see something else other than the actual protagonist. But yeah, I don't really give a fuck about Stellar Blade anymore. If anything, I would wait for it to go on sale, and even then, probably not. Can anyone tell me the Stellar Blade gameplay is actually good? Because I've not heard a single thing about the actual gameplay yet. Stellar Blade looks really cool, but some of the outfits for the protagonists we've seen in the trailer were definitely interesting choices. What's that term?
Damn.
Cotton 4K, cotton 8K, 16K? Yeah. Again, like I've shown before,
Busted.
it's perfectly okay to be horny if it falls under specific checklists or actual guidelines that the internet has agreed to being okay.
And that's
but
the
it's
thing. That's the thing with inclusivity, or
Yeah.
the theory of inclusivity. The word itself would suggest that the people that believe in inclusivity just want to add stuff, which
Yeah.
in and of itself is fine. But from this example, which is not the first one, right? There have been many other examples, but from this yet another example, it's proof that the idea is not to add stuff on top of straight. The idea is to remove straight, demonize straight, and then glorify everything else. So right off the bat, we need to agree that it's not about inclusivity.
No, it's about
okay to
exclusion.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Oh.
Only 21, no time to look down, run down yet. Hey man, it's rough outside. It's rough. There's 20-year-olds that look like
man.
really like done.
Yeah.
Like she's already had kids, divorced, and everything, and she's 20. Oh, he's
Yeah.
sweating
No,
because
it's
guys also can get run down.
party lifestyle, man.
Yeah,
geez, I remember like friends from school that I hadn't seen for like 10 years, and they just looked rough. And
yeah,
I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, what have you been up to? Like,
dude.
geez.
We
But
pay a price for everything that we do and
yeah,
don't do. Alex
yeah,
looks the way he looks because he pays the price on a daily basis.
yeah,
Nothing is
works hard.
given for free.
Yeah.
Nothing.
No, it's very true. It's very true. I mean, I don't like typically I'm people don't realize how old I am typically, or they don't think I'm anywhere near the age that I'm actually at. I'm usually
Yeah,
mistaken for over 10 years being 10 years younger than I am.
because
Often,
you take care
yeah,
of
I mean,
yourself.
yeah, like I'm not, I don't have a dad bod or anything close to that, right? And, I, I don't mind like being mistaken for being over 15 years younger than I am. Kind of makes you feel good in some
It
respects,
does.
right?
It really does.
So,
Dude, I still remember the first time I was on the road, on the street. Because what happens in Mozambique, I think it happens in other cultures as well. There's words that people use to describe strangers when they want to talk to you, right? And usually the young kids, like the kids in school, would call me Mano. Mano is like brother or big brother, you know?
right.
And I let myself go years ago. I did let myself go. And I was on the street one day, and then one of these kids from school, they were in the school uniform, and instead of calling me Mano, they called me Tio, which is uncle.
Uh,
I wasn't big brother anymore. I was now uncle.
yeah, yeah.
I
Suddenly you just aged.
I had a moment in the street. Like I wasn't rude to the kid or anything. But
Yeah,
after interacting with him and telling him like the direction, because he was asking for directions on how to get to wherever, I told him, yeah, go there, there, there. I got to my car, I sat down and I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing with yourself? You are now uncle. I looked at my gut and I was like, nope, I'm not uncle. I'm not gonna be uncle forever. A
yeah.
couple of months ago, I was on the street and one of these kids called me big brother again. And I was like, let's
There
go.
you go.
Let's do
Yeah,
this.
that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
To be horny for a character that is just normally attractive and naturally beautiful, or even just made up that way in terms of just regular design for what would appeal to normal audiences. No, they have to be big, fat, obese, gross, or having missing
Gross. Come on, Alex. That's not helping. That is not helping, Alex. Come on.
legs or audiences, and just made up that way in terms of just regular design for what would appeal to normal audiences. No, they
See, remember I said about us referring to our kinks or our interest as regular and
yeah,
normal. This is the
yeah,
type of stuff that if I was in the other community and then someone said that, that would trigger me, you know? But we
yeah,
make that
yeah.
mistake
Maybe, yeah,
many times. We make that
yeah.
mistake many times.
they have to
I
be
think
big, fat,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say though. I think like when you have 90% of the population is one way, isn't that normal?
Dude, it's not
I don't
90.
know.
That is a lie. It is 99.999%.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Yeah,
quite literally like 0 point something percent that is the other direction if we're taking the whole
yeah,
world's population.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a strange topic.
It
Continue.
is. It is.
Yeah,
regular design for what would appeal to normal audiences. No, they have to be big, fat, obese, gross, or having missing legs or anything specific, or they have to be
Jesus.
disabled in some way and some really weird fetishized thing. Look, I'm not going to sit here and yuck on your yum. But the thing is, you shouldn't do the same thing to anyone else either. As
Yes.
someone
Exactly.
who would totally like many of the characters in Hades and also enjoys to want to look at someone like Even Stellar Blade, I just want to look at attractive characters when I play video games. There's no reason or rhyme around it. I don't understand
And I
why, for
think
some reason,
most
it's
people
okay with
would.
Hades because it fits.
Sorry.
Well, he says he just wants to look at attractive characters when he plays video games. I would bet 99% of people that play video games would agree with that statement. And that's why that's what's so weird about this change that's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, what audience are you producing these games for? When,
Yeah.
I would bet that if you did a survey, it would probably be 80-20. Like 80% of people would say in an anonymous survey, the 80-20 rule typically applies. 80% would say they would sooner look at attractive characters than unattractive characters.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just people, right? That's just the way people are, whether they want to
Yeah.
admit it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, when you have a character creator, do you try and make your character look good or bad?
But what's
right?
good
I bet
and
you.
what's bad?
Well, I think there is some sort of beauty standard in the world. Like, you have supermodels for both men and women. I think everybody would, the vast majority of people would find that would realize they're supermodels for a reason. If that's the ultimate beauty standard, that's what I would say. You're making a good-looking character. You're going to try to make the character look. If it's a dude, you're making a guy that looks fairly buff, or
Like
whatever.
Randy
You
Orton
don't.
or something.
Yeah. It's. I think if people were honest, most people would say that's what they try and do. Like, even if you're trying to make its facial features look similar to you, chances are you're enhancing the
physique.
muscularity of the
Yeah.
person if it's a man, or the femininity of
You're
the
bringing
person
the
if it's
fat
female.
all the way down.
Yeah, like, typically, I mean, you want your character to look good. At least that's me. I don't know.
Gee, maybe Hollywood has predetermined what a hero or heroine should look like forever. They really haven't, because the Greek sculptures, they existed way before Hollywood.
True.
The Mayan paintings also existed before Hollywood. The Chinese, like, scriptures or whatever paintings they had as well, also existed before Hollywood. Every society on the planet has always agreed that the best version of humanity is the one that we look at right now. The one that we idealize right now, we have always idealized. It's not something that we're going to sit here and blame Hollywood for doing. Hollywood just took an idea that was as old as the sun and regurgitated it out to us. We all love six packs. We all love people with 0% body fat, because we just know that's better. It looks better. It's not politically okay for us to say it, right? But that's what it is.
Yeah, I think in reality, an anonymous survey would show very different results than if everybody had to raise their hand in public.
Oh, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. An anonymous survey would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
It would be embarrassing.
Yeah, well, it would show what would really sell. Right?
And that's
just the
why it
reality.
sells. And that's why it
Exactly.
sells. Because when we buy product, no one's there checking to see if you're privileged, what's your skin color, what's your this. No. You are just
Yeah.
going off of what you think is better. What's better?
Yeah.
The idealized version of humanity. Simple as.
It's your fetish check boxes, but it's not okay when Even Stellar Blade does it because it doesn't fit those check boxes there. Again, like I've said before, it really is just showing the hypocrisy of not only the internet, but also gaming journalists as well. There should truly be nothing wrong with having attractive video game characters. If it falls into something you enjoy that you want to see, great. If it doesn't, Great. It doesn't
Great.
mean that you have to enjoy
Go
every single
somewhere
game the way it
else.
comes out to have it fit your specific individual mold. It just means that everybody else has got a specific kind of yum.
Yeah. Don't make it so we can't enjoy stuff.
Yeah,
Go away and enjoy what you want to enjoy. But
absolutely.
as soon as you start now saying that I can enjoy what I want to enjoy, now you're not being inclusive anymore. Now you're being exclusive. Now,
Yeah.
and wise, sorry, not wise, mental. I put these people in the same group I used to put the extreme Christians in the 90s. I put these people exactly in that same group. They just want to take stuff away from us. Just like the Christians in the 90s talking about the devils in Doom, and Grand Theft Auto is to blame for people not going to church anymore. Bro, stop it.
No.
If your life
Yeah.
is miserable, don't drag me into it. All right?
Yep.
So don't yuck it. And this just goes back to my original point about the entire conversation with Stellar Blade, SBI, and etc. Making actual characters in video games unattractive for no particular reason, even though it absolutely does impact the game directly. Because it doesn't matter who you are, you want something attractive to look at. Whether or not it fits your actual list of attractiveness is really just the individual thing.
Yep.
If you don't find that character attractive, then just don't play the video game, like
Thank
you said
you.
before, right? But if you do find that
Yep.
character attractive and you want to play the game, then go for that too. But to sit there and say things like, oh, Stellar Blade is objectifying women, other games have done it better, Stellar Blade's not real, going to New York City and asking questions about actual people who don't play video games, whether or not they've actually seen that character before, and just get caught
That's the
lying
guy
about it.
you brought up.
Hey, looking at you, my boy. Yeah, those are not things to do. What you should do instead is just enjoy the video game, perhaps. Maybe if you don't find that character attractive, then again, don't play that game. Or if you do, then go ahead and play it either way. But the thing is this, everybody's trying to sit there and police someone else about what they should or shouldn't like. And that's really my issue about this entire thing. Game developers should be able to make whatever kinds of games they want, and they shouldn't have this outside weird input about things just because you want to go ahead and have a specific thing or have it tailored to what you think is going to be the right way of making a character attractive or even unattractive as well. Let the game designers make the game they want to make. And if they want to put like traditionally attractive people in there, that's their prerogative to do. And you shouldn't crap on them. And you shouldn't crap on the people who want to enjoy that kind of content. The same way that if Supergiant makes a game that is tailored to what you want to see and what you find attractive, they shouldn't crap on you either.
That's
the thing
fine.
is, everybody tries to have a moral high ground about things. And really, that's the wrong way to look at this. What we should do instead is have the right high ground of, look, everybody's horny and everybody's trying to get a nut. So why not just let...
Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? This guy, man. Oh man,
He's
I'm
hilarious.
so glad I did it. I'm so glad I'm watching this because I probably wouldn't have time for it during the week, but I'm glad I'm watching.
Crap on you either. The thing
You're
is,
welcome.
everybody tries to have a moral high ground about things. And
Thank
really,
you.
that's the wrong way to look at this. What we should do instead is have the right high ground of, look, everybody's horny and everybody's trying to get a nut. So why not just let people just get that nut?
All right.
Seems fine to me, right?
I need to
But
clip
ladies and gentlemen,
that.
let me know what you guys think in the comments section down
There's
below.
no way to
Are you
save
guys
this
play
video.
Hades 2 or you play Stellar Blade? And do you really think about this entire hypocrisy thing with Hades 2 happening? All these
All right, that was Oh No, It's Alex. For anyone that doesn't know this absolute madman, subscribe to his channel. He's awesome. He's funny, clearly, as you've seen there.
Oh, he calls people
And-
out, man. You don't want to be caught in 4K. So he's
I
out
wouldn't
there.
mind getting called out by Alex. I wouldn't mind that.
That's
I wouldn't
publicity, right?
No. Just imagine. Okay, you know what? Let me not go there. I've already been called all types of G's. I don't want to get called gay as well, but whatever. Mental. Before we get out of here, please plug your stuff.
Mental 9R pretty much everywhere. PlayStation and Xbox and Steam. You'll find me under Mental 9R. You'll find me on YouTube at Caffeine Entertainment, all one word. And I've got a few videos up there that you might want to check out, maybe. And you'll find me with the crew from TSWS Gaming on Fridays and on Sundays with Loke on occasion. It's been fairly regular lately, but yeah, great group of people. Absolutely always have a great time. So thanks for having me on, Loke. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming through, man. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, you
Richie
bet.
says,
Sorry I
I
was
don't
late.
know, since the day he dressed into a pink cat, I can't take him seriously. Alex dressed into a pink cat.
That's funny. I saw him put on a Green Man suit and disappear on stream once. I thought that was kind of funny, but I've never seen him as a pink cat. So
Oh, well, because of our time differences, I can't watch his live streams, and
yeah,
I'm not going. Like I like watching Alex's content, but I'm not going to watch a live stream that was already streamed.
I'll
I do
usually
one day.
I usually miss his live streams. Sometimes I catch him or catch portions of it, but
Mhm.
I would typically, if I'm going to listen to it, it's like while I'm out working in the garage or doing something around the house, I might have my earbuds in, just listening to his stream. I don't catch all of them by any means. Once in a while, they
The
get pretty
pink
off the hook
cat
though.
dress was bare chests. Okay, so now I have to watch this. Rachie,
Man,
please link me this episode. Please, for the
that's
love of
hilarious.
everything holy. I need to see this. Anyways, thank, thank you guys for coming through. Appreciate you guys. Richie, send me that damn link. All right. So here's our schedule as follows. Our weekly schedule is as follows. Sundays, I do this with Mental, some other guests, or sometimes by myself. I call it the gaming log. This is a podcast where you just hang out a bit, the tie isn't all the way up. Just hang out and decompress from the week of gaming at 2100 Central African time. So just check the time this stream started. Now you know what time it is in your local time for like versus Central African time. Mondays are for the crossover at 2:30 Eastern, where Ham Solo and K Mega discuss Xbox stuff and more. Tuesdays, me and Ham duke it out in a quick fire discussion centering on video game news on the lowdown at 5 p.m. Eastern. Wednesdays, we're off on TSWS Gaming, but Ham Solo does feature on Matt Likes Games channel for the two-player podcast at 4 p.m. Eastern on Matt Likes Games channel. Did I mention that Matt licks games? Thursdays are headlined by Behind Them Sticks at 8 p.m. Eastern, where Ham Solo introduces people in and around gaming that you may or may not know to try and positively bring people together. Fridays is the big hangout we've coined as bull sitting, featuring Cozy Beluga, Matt Likes Games, Ham Solo, Mental 9 Hour, and myself, and a special guest or two to discuss the week's big gaming happenings and finding out what Cozy Beluga will eat or drink live on stream. We usually start at 4 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for tuning in to Loke's Gaming Log. We hope you had as much fun watching it as we did talking gaming. If you enjoyed the podcast, smash the like button. If you didn't like the video, smash the like button because the algorithm doesn't care. Make sure to share this up with your friends and enemies because views are views regardless of intention. Also, subscribe to our channel for more gaming content. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.